leads that series 2-1. Philadelphia had a real opportunity on Friday night to win this basketball game and even this series up at 2 games apiece. They couldn't capitalize on it Friday night. We'll see if they can capitalize on it tonight. Tyrese Maxey has been deep in his bag. He is. You
guys got me okay on this end?
Boston really struggling to continue.
Yep, we got you, Rick.
Roger, thanks, man. I had a little issue this morning. I was still trying to half one eye open. I was trying to connect our Comrex to Sports Grid and not the fan. And yeah, good times, but all good here.
Nice. Sounds good.
All right. Well, we'll be standing by if anything pops up on this end. Thanks, bro.
Right. Yep. No worries.
The Lakers taking on Kevin Durant. Well, maybe not Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets. Austin Reeves officially upgraded to questionable for tonight. And I think that is uber important here if you are a fan of the LA Lakers. The Lakers have a chance to close out the Rockets tonight. And if they get Austin Reeves back, I think they'll have a chance to do it. Even if they don't, I think they'll end up getting it done anyway. Here is my thing, though, with how the Lakers have played throughout the course of this series. LeBron has been excellent. The supporting cast has been excellent. If they're able to get back Luka and Austin Reeves, I know they're going up against the Thunder, potentially here in round number 2. But, man, how can you just count out a team with LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves? How can you count them out? I'm not saying they're going to win the series, but I'm telling you they're going to make it way more interesting than the general public's giving them credit for, especially if Jalen Williams is going to have to miss time, and that may be the case, as he's officially listed as week to week with a hamstring strain, a hamstring contusion. So I'm high on the Lakers right now. LeBron's playing really well. The role players are playing really well. I just am excited. I'm excited to see whether or not they can survive in advance here. I'm excited to see whether or not they can push Oklahoma City. Speaking of Oklahoma City, yesterday, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, playoff career high, 42 points for him in their win over the Phoenix Suns. So, yeah, Lakers probably end up closing out the Rockets tonight. Kevin Durant and Ime Udoka, their reputations have taken a major hit in this series, and I think this series has also showed you why LeBron James is always going to be considered the superior player when it comes to him and Kevin Durant. LeBron James, throughout the course of his career, always known for making his teammates and others around him better. Kevin Durant does not do that. In this series, in this season for the Rockets, is really undeniable evidence that what I said is 110% true, bottom line. But that's probably the game, because I'm eager to see the potential return of Austin Reeves. But I told you all about the Philadelphia 76ers, man. If they're able to get back Joel Embiid, this is the biggest threat in the Eastern Conference. I'm telling you. I told you all before the postseason started. I told you the Timberwolves out west was a legitimate sleeper and a legitimate finals contender. I feel the same way about the Philadelphia 76ers. If they're able to get Joel Embiid back, and I know that's no foregone conclusion because of the injury that he's dealing with. If they're able to get him back, they will punch their ticket to the NBA Finals. Yes, I said it. If the Sixers get Embiid back, they're going to the finals. Even if they don't get him back, I think they have a legitimate shot to get out of this series with Boston. What we've seen here over the past couple of games is the size of Andre Drummond, Bona really coming to the forefront and impacting this series, man. Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe have been virtually unguardable. Paul George as that third option in key primary defender has been huge. If Boston has another bad shooting night, Philadelphia is going to win this. I think it happens tonight, man. I think Philly ties this series up tonight at 2 games apiece, and I think it goes back to Beantown with a lot on the line, man. A lot of people didn't give him a chance. I told you all before the postseason started. Sixers the biggest sleeper within the Eastern Conference, just how in the Western Conference, it's the Minnesota Timberwolves, man. I'm excited. We're going to talk more about the Timberwolves as we enter the final hour of power coming up here, because their performance last night and really throughout the duration of this series has been awesome, man. There's one dude in this NBA postseason that I think is really not getting enough credit for the way that he's played. We're going to give him his flowers as we enter the final hour of power. Remember, talking text line wide open for you at 310-840-4910, 310-840-4910. You can keep the conversation rolling with me on social media as well. It is at NELL_BTP. Final hour of power comes your way next as we continue to break down all angles of the NBA playoffs, including rewinding to last night. Big time drama at the end of T-Wolves and Nuggets. We'll give you the details next.
This is Westwood One Sports.
Need to sell your house fast? Whether you're facing foreclosure, stuck with bad tenants, or just ready for a fresh start, House Buyer Network can help. We buy homes as is for cash. No fees, no commissions, no repairs. Get a fair cash offer in just 24 hours and close in as little as 7 days. Call 833-719-5877 now for your free no-obligation offer. That's 833-719-5877. House Buyer Network. Fast cash, no hassle.
Offers are typically below market value in exchange for speed and convenience. Call for details.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, 6, and 8.
It's time to spring into deals at Lowe's. Freshen up your yard with Stay Green Premium 2 cubic foot mulch. 5 bags for $10. Then get what you need to keep clothes, food, and dishes fresh with up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an additional $100 on select laundry pairs. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6. Mulch offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Everything you knew about reaching customers online is being rewritten. Time to rethink your approach. Outcomes from Viant finds real customers, not impressions, not clicks, customers. Our AI maximizes every dollar of your budget against the outcomes that matter most and proves it happened. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
Collectors, Front Row Card Show is back in San Diego. Join us at the Town and Country Resort, April 25th and 26th. 425 tables. Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey cards. Plus Pokemon, Marvel, Star Wars, and comic books. CGC, JSA, and PSA submitters will be there. So bring your cards, comics, and autographs to sell, trade, or get them graded. Hundreds of vendors, thousands of dollars in free prizes. Don't miss it. Front Row Card Show, Town and Country Resort, Saturday and Sunday, April 25th and 26th, 11 to 5. For more info, go to frontrowcardshow.com. That's frontrowcardshow.com.
Start your engine, San Diego. This one's going fast. KSON NASCAR Country Fest hits Gallagher Square at Petco Park June 20th, and tickets are going quick. Headlined by Stephen Wilson Jr., plus Carter Faith, along with Tim Duggar and Lakeland Lemmings. This is full throttle country under the lights in downtown San Diego. No breaks, no chill. One epic night. Presented by San Diego County Credit Union. If you want in, don't wait. Tickets are going now at KSON.com. Get in before this show sells out.
Shh, here she comes. Surprise! They sent a duplicate shipment to your flower shop. Now you have to pay for 1,000 extra carnations. Also, there's a beehive outside your store, and they're super aggressive. There's thousands of them.
Progressive knows small business owners usually don't like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise, saving 13% on commercial auto insurance when you pay in full.
Also, the egg salad you just ate was expired. Gross.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Hey, this is Fernando Tatis Jr. The Padres play here on San Diego, number 14 station, 97.3 The Fan.
And Odyssey Sports Station. This program is sponsored and produced by Let's Talk Hookup. Opinions and offers expressed during this program are not those of Odyssey or 97.3 The Fan. Sometimes they tell some pretty hefty fish stories. We don't know if they're true or not.
And now, it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Corey Sandin, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. Man, do we have a great show for you today. Captain Dave Ibrahim from the Tomahawk is going to be joining us fresh off the water. Man, there's some biting fish to talk about and a whole lot going on. You stay tuned. We're in for a good one. Pete Gray is going to be doing a little field research. He's out in Montana. You got Corey and I hanging out with you for the next 2 hours talking fishing and having some fun. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Catine, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel. That to-do list isn't going to do itself. That's when the 2026 Motor Trend Truck of the Year Ford Maverick comes in. Agile, nimble, equipped for wherever you go, with available hybrid all-wheel drive and capable of taking on what you need, with the flatbed storage system and a maximum available towing capacity of 4,000 pounds. Get your ideal combination of capability and versatility to handle whatever comes your way. Get it, haul it, make it. Ford Maverick, turning a to-do list into a to-done list. Visit your San Diego County Ford dealer to take a test drive today.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. And what a fun show today is going to be, man. It's just things are stacking up like we were talking about yesterday, and just how could it be any better?
Yeah, no doubt, man. What a fun time, and what good timing to have Captain Dave from the Tomahawk in here. Good morning, Dave.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you guys for having me.
Wow, we're pumped to have you, man. It's been a fun start. I'm so stoked to have Dave in here because Dave's strategy was the one that I talked about a bunch on the show. Our season ended last year, whatever you want to call it. The next day, you had that boat under tarps and were steady grinding away. And we had talked to you in the off season, and you said the same thing. I want the boat ready. I want the boat to be ready at the first sign of fish. And I feel like the fish are going to be early this year. And man, what a what a payoff you had for doing that. Sure as heck, you looked at the season, and the season started way earlier than most of us expected, and that Tomahawk was primed and ready to roll, and you guys slid in immediately and just started running and started catching, and here you go.
Yeah.
I mean, this was the payoff for all that.
It really is,
Yeah.
exactly. And seeing these guys, just finishing up their stuff, it's like, all right, well, here we are ready.
Yeah.
And something to point at, just getting in this morning and having definitely our chances yesterday. It's like, all right, this is exactly that reason why I wanted to knock it out early.
I just think it was such a good call. I mean, like you say, the season's going to happen, but you called it. You called it, and it paid off,
Yep,
and it's been
exactly.
fun to watch how great things are going on that Tomahawk. And every time you're on here, people always are calling with all the accolades, and they love fishing with you, but it's just such a good thing. You get started early. You guys really put a lot of effort into it, and you're just doing it the right way. And man, so how's the season going? It seems like it's off to such a quick, early, fun start. What's the fisherman like? Give us the rundown, man. What's up?
It's of course, getting the reservations, getting off the dock. It's been the weekend thing, and like I mentioned, just getting in this morning from our 2-day trip. We ended with 43 bluefin, and man, they wanted to play on a few stops. Definitely the finesse, 25-pound fluoro, small circle hook approach, but getting on some of these long extended drifts and just, guys going back there, picking a good bait swimming away from the boat and getting a bite. So that opportunity, it's always a treat, especially, daytime action.
my
It's
God,
like we were
yes.
talking about it on the trip multiple times. It's like daytime. I think back to the old textbook approach and, trolling around, getting jig strikes and all that fun setup. And of course we attempted, our first full night, and we're seeing fish, and they just were funky. And it was like, all right, well,
okay.
I guess we, can't have it all here at the moment.
So they wanted to play in the day
They
more
wanted
than
to
at the
play.
nighttime.
Exactly.
Wow,
Exactly.
great. Oh, I love hearing that.
I know.
God, I
It
love
was
hearing
good.
that.
It was a treat for sure.
And
Basically, I mean, God, it's odd almost going back to, we didn't do too many trail rotations, but just knowing that's in our future,
Yeah.
1 through 4, 5 through 8, and doing all that, making sure our trail spread's good.
I can't wait for that too. You know how long it's been to be on the boat
long
and
time,
hear the
right?
clicker rip off, and you look down and 3 of the rods all have one on at the same time, and
Exactly.
throwing bait and hooking
Yep.
a fish in the corner. Like, I can't wait for that.
Oh, exactly, man. It was fun.
That's awesome.
Able to make it work for sure.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to our next trip. Absolutely.
You guys, this was a 2-day that you came back from this morning. Is that what you've been running mostly 2 days? Does the fish necessitate that length of time? Do you just what's your schedule like? And
Luckily, the
where
fish
are
is overnight trip range, 60, 70 miles like that. And there's a good spread of it. A lot of
Cool.
scattered out batches of these things, and it being reachable on, an overnight trip.
Yeah.
So doing our 2-day trip gave us a little bit more time. And, on the note of leaving in that AM hour, getting out there, and we had that evening shot at them. So it was kind of that, all right, here we go, rolling into the dark and trying, but they just didn't want to go with it.
But you were catching fish on the same day as departure.
Yes.
You guys had some fish in the hole.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
crazy.
I love that.
Yeah.
Right?
It was definitely fun.
What about the whole yellowfin thing? I mean, the talk of this early
Right.
season, April, like sign a yellowfin, and
Yeah, I mean, that's, in our travels, we didn't come across any. We did
Yeah.
catch one Dorado on
Crazy.
one
Yeah,
of our
isn't that-
drifts, and it's, a couple other guys did as
Yeah.
well. So of course, in the back of our minds, what's this season going to bring?
No, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I think I sure think we're in for a fun one, man. It's just,
I do too.
the start has just been so good, and I love it.
And we talked about it yesterday with Doug Kern. It's there's all this talk sometimes, and it's like it should happen, it could happen, it might happen. Things are lining up. It's actually here.
It's happening.
It
Like
is.
yeah,
It is.
like there's no masking it, man. It's
Exactly.
that yellowfin. Like what the distance? I mean, is it at that 70, 100 mile mark?
God, there was some talk about it. I was hoping we would, and it was,
Yeah.
super, caring about our troll spread and trolling our Halco lures and,
Right.
a couple different cedar plug daisy chains and trying different things. But, for our jig strikes, we were getting bit on those Halco lures, and basically being prepared, has me and my crew going through all of our light fly line gear. And it's like, all right, we got to make sure our fly line game's good and stocking up on our fluorocarbon and all that approach. But man, I hope that yellowfin comes. And it's like, of course, no matter what species, I mean, throughout the day, 2 guys on the roof and looking. So whatever's off our belt, we're attempting it. But for sure, bluefin was our focus here. And ready for yellowfin too. So show themselves.
Yeah, man, I love it.
I know it.
Dave, tell us a little bit about the Tomahawk. You know, you're a regular guest on here at this point, and a lot of us have fished with you and love the boat. But for those that haven't had a chance to come, give us a little rundown on what your girl's like.
Yeah, so we do overnight trips, mainly day and a half, 2-day stuff. We do have a couple 2.5, 3-day trips. But I feel like our main focus, every boat kind of finds their niche, and I feel like 2-day trips have been our little niche on that. Open party, of course, availability for charters too, dates with dates available for it. Doing that shorter range stuff, fish holds, RSW system, 30 degrees. We do have the whole fillet option, but again, it's like this processor thing. A lot of guys are favoring it, leaning towards it. And I always mention trying to bring what I learned on the long range stint that I did, bringing that to that short range. And there's been ups and downs with it, but trying to just give every passenger that long range experience, at least just customer service, and having my Nick in the galley whipping out good meals and just creating this good experience. And it's been a lot of good feedback. So I always tell the boys, like, this is why we do it.
I think it's the thing we hear about your boat and operation the most, is it really is like that. I know that's what you strive for, but everybody says that, like, doing a 2-day on the Tomahawk is like taking the middle out of an 8-day trip on the American Angler or the Royal Star or the Royal Polaris or any of the top boats. You guys do such a good job.
Yeah.
We hear about it all the time. Elevated food, the level of comfort. The boat's big everywhere. It's big everywhere. The bunks are big. The distance between the house and the rails is big. Everything about that boat is big and comfortable.
It is. It's a well-balanced boat. It being my first sport boat, being a part of ownership-wise, it's like, all right, this is it.
Yeah.
What happens next? It's like, I can't think that too far out, but, doing the best we can do with what we got. And, God, we did some maintenance on it, did a lot of mechanical stuff in the engine room, shafts, props, just making sure our mechanical side of it's sound. But again, it's a fun platform, looking at just keep sharing the, passion with anglers, new anglers. I mean, it's been a lot of familiar faces, this is the 4th season, rolling into it, me being part of the Tomahawk. And it's like, all right, starting to see these familiar faces a lot more.
When we feel it in the tackle store side, like it's palpable, the brand that you have put together with that boat. It's had some fantastic owners in its life, and it's had some mediocre, and like you can tell the boat's probably on the best path that it's ever been on, because you just hear it. I mean, we hear it every time you're on the show. People talk about how much they love fishing with you, and then at the top of the dock, people just raving about, man, I just can't believe that we did all of these things on our 1.5-day trip. I can't believe that I ate that on my 1.5-day trip. And
awesome.
You guys just doing a great job, and it's fun to watch.
The feedback's good. I enjoy it.
That's a good way. So tell us about the fishing yesterday. You said you guys got into that nice bluefin. What's the grade like? You mentioned it was daytime. How are we catching it? What kind of gear do we need? What's
it
on the
was
horizon?
a lot of that 25, 30 pound fish. We did have a couple standout 50 pounders, and there was a couple bigger ones caught between sport boats that were out yesterday. So I was like, oh, all right, a couple 100 pounders in the mix.
Hey, no kidding, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. So it was definitely a good amount of potential, and it was just throughout the whole day. We did a couple 2-3 hour drifts. And just textbook, casting your bait off the downwind corner, working your way up the side. But definitely more of the fly line approach, I feel like, is what we favored. And just textbooks, seeing, turnbird schools, shearwater deals, blind jig strike, catching bait fish. And, man, it's
God, that's cool.
I know, right?
It gets me so fired
Actually
up.
gets me fired up, Dave.
Yeah. Oh, man, getting that bite. It's hard to explain to, some of my land buddies that don't go fishing.
Yeah.
Like, man, you're getting off the boat and going fishing on your skiff or whatever it may be. And it's like, man, you really doing that? So, yeah. Once you got the itch, that's for sure.
Picking a good bait, especially after the adrenaline after a jig strike and hearing the clicker go off and everybody's running and it's the crazy fire drill, and picking a good bait and having to hit the water and starting to rip line off your reel where like, oh, this thing's going to get smashed. Guaranteed. And then boom, it happens. It's just,
oh, yeah. Hearing the clicker go off before they even scream hookup. It's like, they're all shouting back there. And I said, no, you got to yell hookup. It's like everyone's rusty.
I love it, man.
And that's been a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it just,
that's a good feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really what these landings are built upon,
Totally.
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's in my bones.
Right?
Yeah. It's pretty funny hearing it go off before they even see it. It's like,
I'll bet. That's cool.
Yeah,
what size gear does it take for a guy to get a bite right now?
We ended up downsizing. There was just a couple drifts where, guys were getting bit on 25 pound and 30 pound, but I feel like I did take note to the guys that were doing the downsize with the more finesse style approach, 20 pound fluoro, number 2, number 4 circle hook like that. And they were getting bites, maybe I think a percentage a little bit better than the 25. I still think if you went out there with a 25 pound setup, fish that all day nonstop, I think you'd be right there neck and neck. But we did do the whole, trying the artificial stuff, the cold snipers, the mega baits, those style jigs. I don't think I saw one come over the rail with one of those in its mouth. But every day it's different in its own way. They were for sure showing themselves good, boiling up crazy, off the bow, off the stern. And it was, they weren't as eager. So of course I'm already itching to get back out there. It's all about, redemption and, doing the whole, like you mentioned, picking a good bait, but just plunker style stuff. There's guys doing the popper stuff, trying that because the amount of boils was impressive. And I said, oh man, everyone's getting prepped, at least having their arsenal on that stuff. It's like, all right, well, fish it how it comes.
Corey and I cracked up at the intensity of Dave. We're like, oh, how was the trip? And you could tell that, Dave was a little bit ho-hum, like, oh yeah, 40, 50 fish, and Corey and I both like jaw open, like, you kidding me right now?
Right.
That's awesome. Yeah, like that's right. As you should. And
Yes.
I love that about you. But man, you talking about 40 or 50 nice daytime fly line bluefins that are 30 to 50 pounds with some potentials 100 pounders all day, every day. Sign me up for that.
No, I agree
love
with
it.
you, Rick, for sure. And I can't imagine dropping down to 20. I mean, finesse like
There's
that.
a couple.
Well,
I was like, ooh.
That's why I was so curious. And the reason I asked is when you said that now there's starting to be a few fish, scattered amongst the fleet that are starting to touch 100 pounds. Like now you've got to really think about making that decision. Obviously you need to do what you need to do to get your bites and hook your fish, but you also, you hook 100 pounder on 20 pound, the odds of that thing coming over the rail are almost nil, so I love that part of it. I love the, God, man, do I just go for the bite and then deal with it later, which almost doesn't, almost never pans out the right way. Do you stick with heavy line and wait for the right bite at the right time? Like that's the strategy that there's no right answer to any of those things. It's all just, what part of the gray are you wanting to swim in?
Yep, having it. And that's the good thing too, is, the knife jig setups that we are rolling out on these trips with, that's probably going to be the setup you use to do a sinker rig stuff if you did get on a batch of those. But yeah, there's a couple of guys stopped on a couple schools, and sure enough, everyone drops their 25, 30 pound rigs. Everyone gets smoked. And it's like, oh yeah, those were them. So being prepared by far.
I love it, man. Yes. Well, we're going to have a great one today. No doubt, Corey. Lots to talk about. The texts are already pouring through. Today's just going to be a fun day.
I agree with you, Rick. And having Dave in here and his infectious smile and enthusiasm for what he does is awesome, right?
Yep,
and
absolutely.
it's for the same reason your passengers love going with you, Dave.
Oh,
and
got to.
I love sitting alongside you, and we've got a full 2 hours with you and just super stoked. And we're going to be on the fan for a full 2 hours this morning. And if you want to join us, that number to call in, Kyle's waiting for your call right now, 833-288-0973. There's one open line right now for you. You can call in and either that way or via the texting, and that's only on the app. You go right there on the app. It's an easy free download, and it says right there, text a show. And when you do send a message, Rick and I are going to get those, and make sure you do include your name and telephone number, because at the end of the show, we're giving away an overnight trip out of Fisherman's Landing.
Hey.
It might even be going with you too, Dave, right?
Chance. Solid
exactly.
chance.
Right. And I know Carl in the past has given the nod that, if you wanted to upgrade that to
a little day and a half.
Yeah, exactly.
Catch Carl on a good day. You might be sliding out a little extra.
Right, exactly. But for a small amount of money, you can upgrade that to a day and a half or whatever you want to do, right?
Win-win.
So right, exactly. So again, I'll give you the telephone number, 833-288-0973, or send us a text via the app. We're going to be right back on that Let's Talk Hookup app with Dave Ibrahim from the Tomahawk when we return on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Filet knives shouldn't be disposable. Introducing AFTCO filet knives that are built to last. Designed in collaboration with Boker, Germany, AFTCO knives feature 4116 German stainless steel, bonded with titanium nitride to ensure optimum corrosion resistance and exceptional edge retention. A non-slip TPR handle maintains a firm grip when processing game fish. fillet knives from AFTCO. Any fish, any water.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. Spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or a fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at royalstarsportfishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
When you're pursuing big game fish, the right gear is essential. Not just the rod, reel, and line, but the right pair of binoculars too. So upgrade your gear to the best pair of Fujinon stabilized binoculars from Baker Marine. Baker Marine has been selling binoculars for decades, and more importantly, they service all brands right there at their San Diego Shelter Island location. Need the best? Fujinon Stabiscopes are the professional's choice. Looking for top-tier stabilization at a great price? The Fujinon Technostabi TSX 1440s deliver rock-steady vision, even in rough waters, perfect for serious anglers. Baker Marine is the largest Fujinon retailer on the West Coast, and when you buy from them, they'll be there when your binoculars need service. Plus, they'll give you a great price on all in-stock Fujinon binoculars. Stop by their store on Shelter Island in San Diego and test a pair of Fujinon binoculars and see which ones are right for you. They even have compact and lightweight Fujinon stabilized binoculars for your next vacation or hunting trip. You know you need a pair of stabilized binoculars, so get them from the experts at Baker Marine. Learn more at bakermarine.com.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limit, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open party schedule, check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, and having so much fun in the world headquarters here with Dave Ibrahim from the Tomahawk. If you want to join us, 833-288-0973, or you can send us a text via the app. Make sure you do leave in your name and telephone number or a way to get a hold of you after the show, because one lucky texter or caller is going to win a overnight trip out of Fisherman's Landing.
Yeah, what a rad prize, and a big thanks to Carl and everybody at Fisherman's Landing for making that happen. Such a cool prize. You basically get a pass to go on board any boat that's running open party overnight at Fisherman's Landing. Like Corey was saying, if you sweet talk old Carl, give him a little kiss on the cheek, maybe he'll let you slide in, throw a couple extra bucks, and upgrade it to a day and a half. So you might be going fishing on the Tomahawk, one of the just my absolute favorite boats. So proud to see that thing at the landing there. It's just awesome, and Dave does such a good job. And yeah, somebody's going to get to go fishing and have some fun with us. Again, if you want it, 833-288-0973 is the number. Why don't we jump into the phones, Corey?
Let's do that. How about Alex calling from San Carlos? Good morning, Alex. Appreciate you joining us.
Hey, good morning, guys. I've been lucky to catch yellowfin, even albacore when I was like 12 years old, and big eye and everything, but I've never caught a bluefin. And my dream is to be able to catch one. Just kind of we're like sliding into foamers. What would be your tips on like successfully catching one on the slide, just casting into the foamers?
Ooh, definitely if rolling on the foamers, having your popper set up, or even just one of those smaller body Colt Sniper jigs, casting into that. But time and time again, guys go into the bow, we hook a couple, and then there's a few on the back. Guy in the tank throwing chum, guys sliding baits back, hooking them as well. It's like dumping a bunch of bait on those spots, trying to get them to stick to the boat, but probably popper casting right in the middle of those foamers would be the fun ticket for sure.
Is a rod to cast a foamer or Colt Sniper like what's the level of importance of having that thing on the quiver? If a 25-pound fly line live bait rod is the number one most important thing to have, like where does that thing fall in line?
Ooh, I know I'm back and forth. I bought one of the Trinks and I've always have a popper tied on it, but I still find myself casting a surface iron into that stuff. Okay. Full of mono, casting distance plus 50 feet worth of mono. Casting a 7X or some surface iron of some sort into it. Like I just always find myself doing that, even when I have a popper tied on.
It's funny. I'm very similar to you. That same thing. Like even if the popper is the cooler thing, there's something about the distance and control that you have with a surface iron. Like, I'm going to hit that spot.
Yeah.
Like,
And have your line
I'm not
possibly
going to come
too.
up. I'm not going to come up short. I'm
Yeah.
not going to anything else. I'm going to hit that spot
Yep.
every time.
Yep.
But again, there's nothing. I don't know that there's anything cooler than getting a bite on those poppers.
Oh, bring it on.
That's as fun as. What about that? What's the Dave popper of choice? If you were, Alex is wanting to cast something into a foamer, get a bite. Do you, are you on the large side so you can cast it with heavier line and get more distance? Do you like a smaller one because it's more finessey and they eat it better?
I feel like the way I pop a popper, like I still use those big face Halco ones,
Okay.
those things that just kick a bunch of water. And I know the Ghost Clears and like those smaller body poppers, those are favored and work well. But I still find myself for sure, at least doing the popper, if I was to cast it with one of those bigger Halco ones that just kick a bunch of water.
Sure.
And, just the way I pop it stays in the water. It's not skipping over the water because just the, how hard I pop. But yeah, I still have a wad of those. I remember that was the hot ticket. Those things are hard to get.
Yeah.
Those ones, the Gazuri ones, I still have a stash of them.
That's cool. And with that setup, what would you say is the ideal, do you go down to the, I hate to call it that, but it is what it is. Do you go down to the heavy bass reel style things, the Tranks 300, Tranks 400, Tranks 500, or do you stay with a surface iron style rod, just have a popper tied on? What do you like for that?
I still stick with the surface iron style, just
Okay.
the casting distance.
Yeah.
Casting distance and probably my go-to for that is CalStar 90J.
Okay.
I feel like that's the one. And, I have the 90J mag. Those are my two. And then, I have the 100J glass. That's, my go-to surface iron. But I find myself with popper on the 90J
Okay.
usually.
That's cool. Well,
Yeah.
Alex, I wish you the best of luck. It's funny. There's probably not a ton of people listening to the show right now that have an albacore and a big eye under their belt, but not a bluefin. So I think this is your year, bro. Just hop on with Dave, and I guarantee you guys together will get that sucker knocked off your list. And all that said, if your goal is to catch a bluefin, I still think I'd probably fish a number 2 hook and some 25-pound before the popper. But catching them on the popper would be a hell of a lot more fun. That's for sure.
And even on the slide, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
when you get a handful of guys that want to throw the popper or surface iron or whatever on that sliding in like that, it could be a mess right in the beginning,
Yeah,
right? I
this
mean,
is very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. Just to be able to stand back just for 10 seconds, which is
Yeah.
probably the most difficult thing in the
It
world,
is,
right?
it is.
But just to stand back that 10 seconds and wait for the mess to happen and cast 90 degrees to the,
That's a smart approach. Let everyone cast, and it's, practicing, practice makes perfect. So cruising out, practicing your casting. So when you are in that first wave of cast, that cast makes it to them.
Get me all fired
God,
up.
me
right?
too, buddy. Alex, appreciate the phone call very much, buddy. Why don't we grab another one, Corey?
Let's do it. How about Mike? Mike calling from Torrance. And by the way, that does open one line if you want to call in at 833-288-0973. Good morning, Mike.
What's up, Mike?
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Rick and Corey. Hey, one of the biggest, the first biggest bluefin I ever caught was on the Tomahawk with the previous owner and name. And I was up on the bow coming up on a foamer on July 5th of 2014. And I threw a surface iron and I just chucked it. And the deckhand said, if you would have thrown that twice as far, you might have got one. So I just didn't say nothing. I let it sink and I let it sink and I let it sink. And I started grinding it up and I hooked it up. And I fought that fish for quite a while. And my reels plate backed off and I had to get a screwdriver. I had to tighten it up. And it was a challenge getting it all together and getting it on the boat. And we put it on the boat and Billy, the deckhand, Anthony, they call him Billy the goat, Billy the kid, but Anthony gapped that thing and I couldn't even pick it up at the time. It was probably 90 and he picked it up and we took a picture together and I still have the picture and what a great memory from your boat.
That's awesome.
And I've caught lots of albacore and lots of yellowfin, lots of bluefin, but I have not got a big eye. But better than that, I'd sure love to get a wahoo this year. And I've been on your boat with a wahoo caught also in October 2015, and I didn't get one, but maybe this year.
Yeah.
So,
shaping up already,
Yeah, I
different
know.
than previous. So anything could happen.
I think any of us would be crazy to say, oh, there's going to be local wahoo this year. I mean, it had never happened before, that 2015 year, and it takes a whole lot. But man, you gotta have a start before there's a finish, and we sure got the right start. You know, who knows?
And it was amazing yesterday. You know, if you missed yesterday's show, you can go back to the app and listen to it. But Doug Kern was talking about, there was at that point that year, 14-15, over 1,000 wahoo caught locally.
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Right. I mean, I didn't even think of adding it up, but to have close to 1,000.
That's wild.
That's a lot of wahoo, man.
See me
Yeah,
out there.
right?
Yeah, see me out there on the Tomahawk and or my skiff. Right? One of the two.
That was fun times, man. That was really, really good. I hope it happens for you, Mike, and I hope we're talking about it too. That would be that was just the craziest, you know. And it's not like it was wide open and huge numbers, but just every time, every kelp there was a shot at one. Outside of the excitement of it, I remember that. The other thing that I remember is no matter what, anytime a hook broke off, a blue shark bit something, anything that you didn't land, I was a wahoo, man. I guarantee. Right. Like if somebody tied a bad knot and they were pulling on any fish of any kind and they wound it back with just line, I got wahooed, man. I had him, had my shot, went away.
And that's the beauty of what we do. I mean, the anomalies of what happened from year to year. Yeah. Right? I mean,
a surprise.
Like the last couple of years, it's been all nighttime. Yeah. I mean, the majority of it's been nighttime, and now you can't even wrangle one at night, right?
We attempted. We stayed late last night and trying to make something happen. And it's like, we saw one school, and it's like, man, I still like doing the nighttime thing. It's fun, festive, adrenaline pumping.
Sure.
But dude, as a passenger, I'm not going to complain. I can sleep at night. And I can get a fly line bite. Are you kidding me? With everybody hooting and hollering?
Yeah, snuggled up.
Bring it on.
Yeah. I love that the clickers are going off. I love that there's jig strikes and bait fish to be had after that. Yeah, this is off to a great start. Well, speaking of great starts, I had a fun text from John in Rancho San Diego. Says, I love hearing about the fishy boat, the Tomahawk. It's one of my absolute favorites in the fleet. Captain Dave, what do you think leads to the most fish caught on a successful trip? Is it an absolute spotter, or is it an astute spotter with the gyros up in the crow's nest? Is it your most up-to-date sonar and electronics? Is it a very experienced group of fishermen? Is it a primo load of bait? What is the single thing you think that makes the biggest difference when you're catching?
Oh, it's all relative. Okay. I mean, example, our last trip, we had a little die-off, and I feel like it weighed against us. Definitely didn't favor, or more favorable for us, but just that bait selection, having the guys on the roof in the crow's nest, and the investment of the staboscopes that we have, keeping them serviced, keeping them functioning from Baker Marine, having those guys on the roof, myself always with those things to my eyes, sonar tuned up, and God, it all matters. It's all relevant. It all needs to flow.
Yeah.
And asking questions. I feel like guys that come out maybe not go as often, asking questions, whether it's the crew members or veteran anglers that go, a good amount. It's taking the initiative. I mean, it all comes down to you get what you put into it.
Totally.
But it just all matters.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I think the best way to look at it, like you couldn't, all of the things that John mentioned, you couldn't take one of those out of the equation and expect to have a successful trip. If you were, no matter how good your guys in the gyros were, if you didn't have a sonar, you'd still feel like you're fishing in the blind. And if you, I mean, I hate to say it, but probably the only thing that you could take out of that and still have a successful group is a really astute group of regulars. You know what I mean? You could, it wouldn't be the same as guys that could cast their baits far and keep themselves out of tangles, but you've got a really good crew. You could take a group of novices and have the right guy, the right bait, the right load of fish, the right biting fish, you're going to come back with limits.
Oh, yeah. That's, I mean, we were casting people out nonstop. I'd be back there on deck, and anybody, if you need me to cast you out, I'm here.
Yeah.
Whether it was casting them out or taking one of our boat poles and casting a bait out, hooking one, handing it off, it's just teamwork for sure. Keeping that flow going good.
This isn't fair to ask you on the radio, but since you and Corey are both sitting here, and Corey, you've had so many years of, working for Ibrahim Brothers in the bait, like, how would you guys describe, you hear talk about all them, you got to pick a good bait, how important it is to have a good bait and hooked right and properly, like as much as you can being on the radio, how do you describe what that is? Like, I'm sure people that are new to it hear it all the time. You got to pick a good one. Well, there's hundreds of them in the hand. Well, who's to determine which is a good one and which is a bad one? And
all the scales on it, minimal. Of course, no red is the preferred, but it's like this last trip, it was a lot of red bait. Stuff was coming up, just minimal scales, and it was like, oh man. So
That happens too.
It happens.
Yeah.
Guy on the tank hand picking the good ones out, trying not to clog the hand well with a bunch of red boy, chumming those ones. You always want to chum the best, fish the best. But chumming the red ones and just looking down, taking note to those, light green back ones, just the ones that just like, ooh, that's a good one.
Uniformity in color.
Uniform in color. And I mean, there's times I even grab one of those, mint condition looking sardines, cast them out, and they still don't swim. Taking note to that. And, we're not into reviving sardines, but if that bait hits the water, doesn't swim after a minute or two, winding it in, changing it. Because, you'll know when you have that right bait.
All I can say is we're so spoiled.
We are.
Right? Let's just admit, I'm not like looking at you and saying that, Dave, but I'm just saying us as an industry. We are, man. Like those guys, they work their tails off, man.
They do.
And I can tell you right now from being a part of it, they don't know when they have a day off, if they're ever going to have a day off. You can't plan for your son or your daughter's birthday party or baseball game.
They were there when we loaded bait, just offloading another batch of bait.
Right.
But the crazy thing is, if they left the dock at midnight, they don't know when, like the next
they get what they
day.
need, yeah.
Like they don't know if they're leaving at midnight again.
Yeah,
like
sure.
you understand? Like it is so unscheduled and crazy.
Definitely.
And there's difficulties. I remember from back then, like this time of the year, the sardine or chovy would want to spawn and it just didn't want to be corralled. Like it would happen for a week or 10 days.
That's when you're trying to catch it, or when it's in the boxes.
Like you could catch it, but when you wanted to corral it to bring it on the boat, in that process, it would happen for a 3-day to a 10-day period where it would want to jump 10 feet out of the water to escape what you're doing to
Where
it.
when it's not in that period, you put the net around it and it just kind of circles up and does
Just
its
like
thing.
when you're on a sport boat, you
Yeah.
see the boys corral it up in the crowder and it just happy as can be.
Yeah.
It's circling in a tornado. Like that's
the norm.
That's the norm. But when it wants to spawn, it seemed like it was during a spawning period.
It's angry. It's angry that you
It just-
got-
it
I would be too, man. You kidding me? Look what I'm trying to do here, buddy. What are you doing? Come on, back off.
Right?
Mating.
Yeah.
But all I could say is like we could take a deep breath and it might be different in 3 days.
Oh, sure.
Like yeah.
I think we all get that part of it.
Yeah.
What about when? So how about this scenario? You are faced with we all know we don't need to. And I say this in a good way. We don't need to give them the accolades because they know that. At least I sure hope so. The Everingham Brothers is our industry. I couldn't agree with you more, Corey. Like they are the saviors of it, the unsung heroes.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes difficulty in bait does happen. Hot water, bad conditions, where they caught it, whatever, it happens. If you find yourself in one of those scenarios, what is the best thing that you can do? Is it downsizing? Is it how you hook and position your bait? Like if your bait is, we're used to having it at 100, and if you happen to get on the boat and it's a 70, or if it's a 30, what are the things you can do to help yourself along in a scenario like that?
There was times yesterday I was thinking, the bait just fly line just did not want to swim. It's like, okay, well, applying some weight.
Right.
Nose hooking the bait. Anytime you apply weight and dropping that bait down there and at least, creating some action. That or, a long soak nose hook bait, letting it get out there as far as you can, and then put it in gear and slow winding it in. Just
That's a great way to
give it an action on the way in. But man, it's so much easier when you get that.
Right?
No doubt about it.
It just answers all the questions, right?
Exactly. Yeah, but yeah, man, respect to Everingham doing what they do, because you're right. Having that live bait option and pulling up to the bait barge and being able to load our tanks. Man.
Yeah.
Right.
Charitable.
And we've talked about it so many times. Like there's nowhere else in the world.
Yeah.
Not in the United States, but in the world that is even remotely close to not only our fleet, but pulling up to a bait receiver that could fill every boat. I'm
down here every day and I still forget about the amount. I know you don't, Corey, because you were on the deck seeing it, but like the volume that they quote unquote have to catch every day. You know what I mean? Like you start multiplying it out in every half day boat and every full day boat and every night trip. And Dave's going on a 2-day and the XL's leaving on a 15 and the RP's going tomorrow. And like, you just think about the amount of bait that our our fleet needs to keep rolling, and they just don't miss.
But take a step back from that idea, Rick, and that daily supply isn't even a drip, not even a drip out of a barrel. Do you understand? That's the ingredient, the main ingredient to life cycle.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of it.
Yeah. No doubt.
Up and down the coast.
Yeah.
So really, it's not even a drip out of a barrel for what they need to corral.
Yeah.
But yet it looks monumental, right?
It
It seems monumental, but it's really, our California coast, it's not even a drip out of the barrel.
I love it.
Yeah, it's crazy. But just trying to get in the right spot at the
Yeah.
right time and close to the harbor, because there were times where we had to run a Dana Point.
Right.
Well, if you run a Dana Point and make a set and get back and unload, that's a 22-hour day.
Okay.
Let's get in there.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you're right. It not only has to be available to you, it's got to be in a spot
Close enough.
where you can catch it, and whatever your net, you can't be too deep, you can't be too shallow. You got whatever that scenario exists.
So that's not that far away, but that's a 22-hour day.
Yeah.
And so you're basically turning and burning on that route. And if you're at Torrey Pines, that's a minimal 15-hour day. Like,
you say this like you know how long that hour is.
I'm telling you how many wheel watches I took from there to
so.
Point Loma. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, I love it, man.
But it's just explain to the listeners,
Totally.
like what goes into
Yeah.
it. It's usually not heard. Let's jump into it. You want to talk to
let's
Carl?
do it, bro.
Carl from Escondido.
What's up, Carl?
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Hey, my question is, I'm thinking of getting a new reel with a Tranks 500 or a Trinidad 16. Which would be the better of the two?
What style artificial something to cast a lure on? Or are you looking for like a multi cast a bait on, cast a lure on reel?
Yeah, what hole is this going to fill in your arsenal?
Like fly line with, cast with,
That's a tough. Yeah, I'm just so drawn to the Trinidad, at least for those options. But the benefits of the Tranks and it having the level wind, I mean, there's good in both.
I'm kind of on Dave's side too. Like I think if your goal is to fly line a live bait and catch a tuna on a sport boat, there is no reel. This is just my opinion, and I'll take it. You can take it with a grain of salt because Shimano is our sponsor. But you take that aside, I don't think there's ever been a reel made that fly lines a live bait better than a Trinidad 16. I mean, it's just the mix of really good free spool, really good power for a star drag reel when you do hook a fish, drags that are more than you need and don't burn out fast. Like I don't think that there's a better reel for fishing a live bait. I also think that Dale hit the nail on the head. Like if you're looking to do things also like casting a Colt Sniper or casting a popper, that's when the benefit of the variable braking system, the level wind. There are things that Tranks will do for your casting that then really put that reel into the equation. It's a very user-friendly reel.
And we were talking about that yesterday, Rick, with the redesigned framing of the new Tranks. And I'm not educated enough, but it's the 300 and 400 or
yeah,
what?
Correct. Yeah. So frame construction is like a much bigger
rigidity.
Yeah, important feature in a reel that most of us don't give credit where it's due. But just because you wouldn't think about how they make the frame equates to like how much easier it is for you to wind in a fish, but it's probably it's one of the biggest things. And like a high performance engine guy, if things are flexing and moving around, like that's how your power escapes. And having rigidity in the frame is a big difference. And you don't think about it, but go wind the clock back 20 years and remember hooking a big fish on your TLD 20 or TLD 32 speed, or wind it back even farther and think about hooking a big fish on your 533 Newell. Like it's the flex in those frames that is the escape of a lot of your power. And having a super rigid frame, it doesn't flex, and your power basically, it all goes to what you're doing. And yes, you're right. So Tranks 300 and 400 have gone through a new revision, and the side plate is now the left side plate is almost like a cap that's part of this whole machined body, where the left side plate and the frame are machined out of the same piece, and the access to the spool through the left side is almost done like a cap. So you keep things a lot more rigid. You don't have multiple pieces that are flexing under a lot of stress.
And it totally makes sense, Rick, because as you're tight on a fish, I mean, if you have a 50-pound yellow on a 400 Tranks, that tightness on the spool is what creates the reel to actually want to torque one way, and it keeps you from being able to wind.
Yeah.
I get it.
Got it.
You're making sense.
It's an arsenal. I mean, they both would serve a solid purpose
Totally
to have
would.
them both.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's an option, I'd purchase both. Just so you're
my gut, and Lisa, if somebody came to me in the tackle store with that same thing, I would probably go, and it also depends on what already exists in your arsenal and what we're trying to do. I think I would buy your Trinidad first, because day in and day out, a 25 to 30 pound fly line live bait reel is how we get the job done more than anything else on the sport boat. That's the bread and butter rig. And I think you're talking about the single greatest reel for doing that. And then exactly as you say, as tax return comes in or money's burning a little hole in your pocket, nothing casts as smooth and easy as a Tranks. So I mean, I don't think you're making a wrong decision. You're talking about two great reels, but figure out what you have and what you need to plug in and what we need to fix.
I like
it too, man. I'm ready to roll.
That's good stuff, Rick. Hey, we're going to be right back. We have more with Dave Ibrahim from the Tomahawk when we return on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Have you been looking for a live bait hook that keeps live bait alive? Look no further than Japan's leading fish hook, Gamakatsu. It's the little things that make the difference, and Gamakatsu hooks drive the point home. With an absolute perfect bend and ideal barbs, your bait swims harder and longer. And when you get bit, Gamakatsu hooks bite back with a vengeance. All hooks are not the same. Go with Gamakatsu for infinite success. Gamakatsu, simply the best. Check gamakatsu.com.
Hello, this is Captain Mike Totter from Searcher Sport Fishing. Alongside my colleague, Chef Josh Evans, and our dedicated team, we invite you to join us aboard the Searcher. Our fishing trips range from 1.5 to 8 days, available May through November, and include charter options. We're committed to upholding a legacy of top-notch customer service, delicious food, and a friendly and talented crew. Book your fishing adventure online at searchersportfishing.com or call Rachel at 619-226-2403. That's searchersportfishing.com. We look forward to welcoming you aboard.
If you spend serious time on the water, you already know how fast conditions can change. Glare shifts, light drops, wind kicks up, and when you're fishing all day, your gear has to keep up. That's why Costa built the Pilot House Pro. It's a semi-rimless shield designed to give you a full, unobstructed view of the water with the clarity Costa's known for and the protection serious anglers actually need. Pilot House Pro is Z87.1 plus safety rated, ventilated to fight fog, and built to stay locked in when things get rough. From flying hooks to long hours in the sun, it's made for real conditions, not just the easy parts of the day. If you want eyewear that works as hard as you do on the water, check out the Pilot House Pro at CostaDelMar.com. See what's out there. Safety rated in U.S. only.
Looking for the ultimate Alaska fishing experience and the best value in Alaska? Look no further than Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. A trip to Kingfisher includes everything you need to make your experience legendary. The finest fishing fleet in Sitka with the best captains, deluxe accommodations, gourmet food, world-class fish processing, and the best part, it's all included for one amazing price. Kingfisher is Let's Talk Hookup's most popular destination. Hundreds of listeners have experienced Kingfisher charters, and most go back again and again. You have probably heard a lot of big promises from other Alaska lodges, only to find there were lots of hidden charges. Not Kingfisher. Everything is included. 10-hour fishing days, your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, and fishing gear. All you bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. Kingfisher Charters, your Alaska fishing destination. 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, and so stoked to be in the World Headquarters today, right?
Totally, man. Yeah,
having
it's
so
fun.
much fun and
talking tuna fishing, man. I just love it.
Daytime.
There's no unreal part of the season. But I like it I like it like this. The feeling that you get going down to the landings this time of year it's just electric when a boat like the Tomahawk is rolling in, and all of the guys that are getting ready to go are already standing in line. They got there earlier than they were supposed to, and like you see that boat come in and unloading all the fish, and everybody knows they're about to just go jack them up again the next day. It is such an electric feeling, and we're so blessed that it's gotten off to such an early start, because you can feel it. It is very palpable at the landing right now. Like we're in something special. It's pretty cool.
There's nothing more exciting than the possibilities of a jig strike and sliding the boats going at a 45.
Yeah, totally.
Baits going over, fish are boiling.
This guy hooked one. This guy hooked one. This guy hooked one. Like, oh man, it's on. They're on us.
You could even get me out. How about that?
You heard it. All right.
Yes, no problem at all, man. That's fun stuff. I know somebody else has got some fun stuff going on too, right?
You got it, bro. It's time to find out what's biting, Corey.
I know. We've got Brian Woolley from Dana Wharf Sportfishing, and it's brought to us by the Fish Pros of Fishman's Processing in San Diego. It's where you get your premier processing experience. You can check out their easier online system to book your processing for your long-range trips. And with more team members, Fishman's Processing stays far ahead of the rest. More same-day capacity and the finest customer service. You can stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street, or you can just check them out at fishmansprocessing.com. And don't forget to make your reservations today. And good morning, Brian. And I have to tell you, Rick, one of our sponsors, I went by yesterday, Summit Gasoline.
Hey.
Are you ready for this one? I went there to buy a bag of ice, but $4.99. If you're paying cash, listen to me. And it may have changed the minute I left.
Get out of here.
$4.99 if you're paying cash.
It was like $6.50 at my house.
$4.99.
That's awesome.
Yes. Good morning, Brian.
Hey, what's up, Willie?
Hey, what's happening, guys? Oh, it's almost worth a drive for $4.99.
Real?
Right. Couldn't believe it, man.
Good stuff, and man, I'm glad I got both the Trank 500 and the 16 in my arsenal.
I know that's like an impossible decision, man. What do you like better, your right hand or your left hand?
Yeah. Totally. Well, hey, water temps up here. I don't know if it's the same down there. Took a little dip on the coast this week for us, 62 to 64, which is, I'd say, probably more normal for where we're at, but that didn't seem to slow things down for us one bit. Our half-day action remained really steady this week with some fun action across the board. Deeper hard bottom areas kicked out some real nice sand bass for the guys, opting for the sinker setups. Fighting egg sinkers up to maybe 1.5 ounces were perfect for that, or a 2 to 3 ounce torpedo sinker. So those guys reverse dropper loop, had some real nice fish that way. We've been fishing live anchovies as our live bait this week, and you know how that kind of parlays into tons of action. So the bass have been all over that stuff. Some of the shallow zones, some of the stuff that kind of routinely gets driven by, you know, that we fished in on some of that stuff and saw some real nice calico bass and sheephead on some of those small inside rocks. Plenty of action on the fly line baits there, and the lighter sliding sinkers, 1/4 ounce, 3/8, just kind of enough to get it down from the birds. Some surface iron action on the calico bass too. Some better quality bass taken on the hard jerk bait. So, you know, Corey, that stuff's biting. It's been fun on some of that inside stuff.
Fired up.
Rockfish opportunity remains strong for us too. A day or two out deep on the 14. Did require some adjusting while we were out there with some heavier sinkers and heavier jigs as that current was pushing strong. And it's good to know that current's pushing uphill pretty strong, like on that southeast part of that bank. You know, that's a good sign. You know, we want that water moving up the coast here. So good to see on that. You know, it wasn't like an eddy at the top end of the bank or something. So that was a good push coming up the coast. But those that adjusted, rounded out their bags real nice. Boccaccio, Floridas, chilies, all that kind of stuff out there. So that was fun to see. And then more on the shallow water zones along the coast here, bit real well. Double dropper looped anchovies was the ticket for the guys here on the coast. Nice grouper, reds, flags, just some of the main players. Some nice specks as well in the mix. Those guys getting a little further up off the bottom. And, you know, one nice sheephead out there for the guys this week too. So 8 to 10 ounces of weight on the coast here was all you needed out there. Not real strong current. It was totally fishable and good there. And then the Fury over at Clemente on Saturday, same good deal with some good rockfish action for their guys. And along with that, they had some fun bonito fishing and good calico bass action along the kelp there. And then all the white fish you could possibly want for the guys fishing the lighter dropper loop setups with some sheephead and some things there in the mix as well. So good across the board for us pretty much everywhere this week. even in that funky weather, a day or two of wind and a little bit of, wet yesterday, but all good. So if you guys want to hop on a trip with us, give the landing a call. Our number here, 949-496-5794. Of course, you can hit us on the web as well at danawharf.com.
Awesome, Willie. Well, a fantastic report. Glad to hear that I wouldn't call it a blip in weather, but nothing on the negative on this end, man. We love hearing it, biting fish, and things are just going to continue to roll ahead. I know we got good weather here in front of us, so yeah, we'll keep it rolling, man. A solid report, and we'll look forward to great things to come.
Right on, guys. Thanks for the time. Have a great show.
Awesome.
Catch you next week.
Willie, appreciate that very much, as
All right,
always.
later, guys.
Thanks, Willie. Appreciate it, bro. With that said, we're going to switch to the surf. Our surf guru, Gundy Gunderson's on the line. What's up, Gundy?
Gundy.
Hey, what's happening?
How you doing, buddy?
Good, very good.
We
had a bit of uneven weather this week, and I think you were talking about that. Some temperature dips here and there hampered the bite, but anglers still posted some solid catches. The perch continued consistent. I think we're at the end of the spawn. Some good catches of smaller halibut, more croaker, mostly juvenile white sea bass, but more white sea bass, and then big surge in leopard sharks. Spotted some freshers off the pier. The water temp's still in the low to mid 60s, so we might have took a temperature, a degree or two bumped here and there downward, but I don't think it's going to affect anything in the long run. I think we should bounce back here, like you said, with the better weather. Hook, line, sinker reported good perch bites, smaller fish, 5 to 8 inch on, just about done. Graveyards, Carpinteria, good stretches for a limit. Halibut anglers checked in some 30-inch class fish caught on the cleaner stretches of water. They had a little bit of off-color water here and there. Mesa, Black Rock, Goleta had some good water and some good catches. Ring, swim baits, flukes, getting bites. The Goleta Pier still holding those short to just legal sea bass. Lots of leopard sharks around. The Cabazon were on the bite this week. Just Fishing reported good perch bite along South Bay beaches, gulp sandworms, grubs, lugworms working there, scratch halibut fishing. Big Fish reported good halibut bite in and around LA Harbor, and this has been going on for about a month there. Very good halibut fishing. Good numbers of 18 to 32-inch fish. I think they had a 12-pounder off Dog Beach, was one of their better fish checked in this week on a bone-colored fluke. Hogan's reported some mid-grade sea bass in the shallows off Cotton Point, and that's a springtime deal. Fish to 35 inches, taking swim baits. And then Pacific Coast reported a little bit of a sluggish bite, some rollover here and there. Better bite was in the lagoons and bays. A 42-inch halibut was reported taken in San Diego Bay, so that's a good sign. Maybe we're going to see some of those bigger hens start moving in. The halibut bite's kind of been interesting this year. Not really concentrated, and I think it's more of a function of the kind of off weather we've had. But we're due to see some of those real good quality hens, and I would look forward to seeing those in the next few weeks here.
Well, 42-incher. Yeah. And that's some good quality right there,
That's crazy.
Gundy, and some good numbers out of the surf, and always a great report you put together, man. It's top-notch, Gundy.
Right on, guys. Yeah, it's I appreciate all the stuff the guys from the shop give me. That's right on the water.
Support your local brick and mortar right there. There it is, Gundy.
Thanks, Gundy.
We'll talk to you next week, and we're going to be right back.
Have a good week. Great show, guys.
Thank you, Gundy. An entire another hour with Dave Ibrahim from the Tomahawk. When we return, not only on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, but we're going to rejoin with 97.3 The Fan.
Do you know why 1 million customers visited Summit Gasoline last year at the San Diego Sports Arena? Because they give you the lowest price on fuel. Great service and easy access, even for trucks and trailers at their 24 pumps. Summit is known for the best price on ice, too. Almost half the cost of any other vendor. 25 pounds for just $3.99. Martha and her crew love fishermen, and they'll prove it by giving you 100 pounds free with a 35-gallon fill-up. Summit offers over 40 snacks and drinks to choose from for only only 89 cents. And even a line of hand creams and lip balms for 89 cents too. Summit now proudly offers locally made burritos and sandwiches, made fresh daily and ready to go wherever the current takes you. Summit just upgraded their car wash, and for a limited time, get a deluxe car wash for only $6. Grab the wife's car, grab a cheap sandwich, and make up for the day on the water. Summit Gasoline, lowest prices, friendliest staff, easy access, and free ice. What more can you ask for?
Hi, this is Tommy the Fishmonger from Tunaville Market and Grocery and the TV show Fishmonger. I've known Yosef Husseini for over 20 years, and he's the expert when it comes to real estate. He's helped me with estate planning and multiple estate questions that the average guy like myself just doesn't understand. Yosef's not only a fellow angler, but he's an amazing realtor that specializes in helping us in the angling community find their ultimate home. If you own a home, get a free, no obligation home evaluation now online from Yusuf by typing in SoCalHomeEval.com. All you do is put in your address and you'll get that report fast. Yusuf is a SoCal real estate guy to go to. He's helped me and many of my customers and family members to find what they are looking for in a home. He understands the real estate market like no other, so take it from Tommy the Fishmonger. Yusuf's the real deal when it comes to your real estate needs. Go to SoCalHomeEval.com and I'll see you at Tunaville Market and Grocery.
For local or long-range fishing, we have you covered. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. Being a part of the San Diego Sport Fishing Landing gives us a distinct advantage when it comes to getting you on the latest and hottest tackle for your trip. Our expert staff knows exactly what you need for your long-range or local trip, and we will not sell you something you don't need. We carry a huge inventory of the right tackle. So visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hardworking crew will make your fishing experience one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. All our open party trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Hey, this is Jackson Merrill, center fielder for the San Diego Padres.
Jackson Merrill over the wall in center field.
The Padres play here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And Odyssey Sports Station. This program is sponsored and produced by Let's Talk Hookup. Opinions and offers expressed during this program are not those of Odyssey or 97.3 The Fan. Sometimes they tell some pretty hefty fish stories. We don't know if they're true or not.
And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Mexa, and Corey Sandin.
Welcome back. Hour number 2. Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan. Man, we're having fun. Captain Dave Ibrahim of the Tomahawk has joined us this morning. We are talking fishing and had an awesome first hour. The fish are biting. It's happening. The boat's going right now. It's just nothing but good in here, Corey.
Oh, having a great time. And in the world headquarters overlooking the landings here. And we can see the Tomahawk almost from right here. You can see it, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, if you want to join us, 833-288-0973. Kyle's waiting for your call. We do have one open line, and it's all yours right now. And again, at 833-288-0973. Or you can send us a text via the app. Make sure you do leave your name and telephone number, a way to get a hold of you, because Dave's going to flip the prize coin right there. At the end of the show, an overnight trip is going to go to one lucky winner, and that's an open party overnight trip. You know, any trip they have there at Fisherman's Landing. So it's super cool.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
We're having a really fun show this morning. Yeah, crazy prize. Unreal that somebody's going to get to go on an overnight trip or maybe even longer at the end of the show. Hey, again, if you want it, 833-288-0973. Phone calls been packed up. Texts been packed up. Let's jump right back into those phones, Corey.
Let's do it, Rick. How about Chuck calling from Long Beach? Good morning. Appreciate you joining us on Let's Talk Hookup, Chuck.
What's up, Chuck?
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Thanks for having me. So Dave, I'm curious, how do you like to see people, or how do you like to set your rigs up? Are you a straight Spectra to short top shot of fluoro guy? Do you like to see some mono on there, a mix of the two? And do you change it up depending on what you're fishing for, like between yellowtail and bluefin or sea bass, that kind of thing?
Great question.
Yeah, I feel like I'm always whether it's a fly line gig, I always like having a little bit of mono. Whether it's a 25 piece of mono on top of Spectra or a 50-foot piece, at least for live bait stuff or doing the knife jig. Surface iron, that's another thing. I like doing casting distance of mono plus 50 feet on the spool, just enough to where the knot doesn't get your thumb when you cast your surface iron. And then I usually do my 4 or 5 foot top shot of fluoro. And if I find it even being more finicky, then I double that, maybe going a little overkill with the fluorocarbon, but I usually have mono for 25, 50 feet for live bait, and then 3-4 foot seems to be like the go-to there. But yeah, it just depends.
Stretch.
But just a stretch. At least having a little bit of shock absorber for sure. Favoring more of the 50-foot top shot mono when I know it's going to be rough weather. Just exactly that shock absorber.
And bluefin are just more difficult and unpredictable when they get close to the boat. They don't have that nice flat regular circle like a yellowfin does, and they switch around, they shake their head, they're going one way, the next thing you know, they're going the other way, and they're just having a little bit of give. Boy, sure. Especially these days, we're fishing smaller and smaller and smaller hooks than we ever used to. And back in the day, you wouldn't ever think about using anything smaller than a 2.0. That was the smallest hook that we ever sold people for tuna fishing was a 2.0. Now I can't even remember hardly the last time anybody grabbed a 2.0 for fly. You look at that thing and think it's a gaff hook nowadays. And, just like we were saying with the reels, like something's got to give. You got to pick something one way or the other. And, a smaller profile hook, there is no denying how much better that thing gets bit. But with the smaller hook comes, you're grabbing lesser meat of the fish, and you've got a smaller barb, and they're easier to shake out. And then you start taking the stretch of the mono away, and you get yourself up in the bow, and the boat's rocking a little bit. Like something's got to give somewhere, and having that extra little stretch of mono sure helps keeping a hook inside of a fish.
I know you think of all the variables like you laid out, Rick. I mean, the roll of the boat and all that stuff included in it, and that extra bit of mono, and it just. Like you're saying, that rubber band, it just all that give.
Rods, we're so fortunate that like technology has come so far on rods, and they do so much more work for you than they did in the old days. You look at some of those old clips. I know AFTCO put a cool social media picture up of the RP doing one of their first Clipperton trips, and you see guys pulling on rods, and the hypalon is bending, and the only way you're gaining an inch of line is if you physically pull that fish that far and then pick up the slack. And now our rail rods are so good. You drop the thing on the rail, the rod does all the lifting for you. But again, we're taking, and you're just not putting any give back into the equation to catching your fish. The rods have a lot more power in the tip section where that used to be very soft, and they're doing all of that lifting for you. But that's just one more thing that's just wanting to pull that hook away from that fish.
Have you ever tried like an extended piece of fluorocarbon, like 20, 30 feet? I mean, it's not the cheapest way to go, but
it gets costly, but I can't say that I personally have. I think when I apply more fluoro than my normal, I'm doing like a 10, 12 foot.
Yeah.
Because it's
that's still an extended piece.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, especially with a sinker rig or something like that. But it's all about the casting, the not getting snagged in the guide. So that's why I keep it, at least the maximum to where it's outside of my tip, but I could still cast a bait out.
And make a reasonable cast.
And make a reasonable cast, exactly.
That's where the mono we're talking about is the most friendly.
Exactly. It has to be.
Right.
I dig it. Hey, well, that's a great one. Hey, I had a fun text come through this morning, and it was from Riley in San Marcos. Man, I love this show. Quick question for Captain Dave. When you're targeting bigger bluefin, do you like to start the people with lighter line in hopes of getting more bites and go heavier if needed? Or do you recommend going heavy out of the gate to avoid leaving fish if the bite is on? What's the best strategy to land a big fish?
I feel like, of course, grade fish go-to for 100-pound fish, and say we're doing sinker rig daytime stuff. I feel like 60 pounds of go-to there. I feel like we all kind of have that just go-to pound test, just depending on the grade of fish. And it's you start getting in these areas where you got 80 pounders, 180 pounders, at least previous seasons. That's a tough one to scope for sure. It's more so of just knowing that, at least general bracket of that grade of fish and adjusting. That's why it's making sure I have, everything needed, just depending on that, always available on the boat. But 60 pounds probably my go-to if I know I'm going into big fish. Of course, heavier is better. If these things are eager, I always try to apply the heavier pound test, but it's definitely at least having eyes on it, or, friendly guys, code boats or guys I talk to that have been on the fish, and it at least gives you that idea of what you're rolling into. But again, it's every day's different.
Sure. And every stop is different.
Every stop is different.
Right.
Yeah. Seems like it.
Do you find that like when the fish are biting the troll jigs and things like that, are they more aggressive when they're bait fishing? Does one thing not have does one not have anything to do with the other? Like, I mean, you get to see them all the time when they're going through those modes, and there's days when as soon as they get on you, they're biting every hooked bait, and there's other times where they just boil up and don't seem to want to touch the hook one. What is it about those things?
Oh man, it's navigating that one. It's, of course I try to think outside the box, and, even take a note to the passenger that's, caught 4 and versus the guy who hasn't. What are they doing different? That's a tough one.
Yeah, sure.
I just adjust on the fly. Always willing. Of course you want to commit to what you're fishing if you're confident with it lure wise. But that live bait stuff, it's seeing what's in front of you, seeing how they react. If they're boiling, is the captain saying, hey, I'm marking them down deeper? It just tells you, if the guy on the tanks is chumming, doing our steady 1-2 thing, and you're not hearing that guy on the tank yell boil, it's like, all right, well, maybe they're a little more standoffish. So adjusting and dropping line size and not going too light where it could bite you. So it's always a to be determined thing.
And you said probably the single most important thing earlier is keeping in good communication with the crew too. And like, obviously when you step on board and you're trying to put your rods and reels together, it's important to kind of get a rundown from before, but boy, on the fly too. I mean, those guys are there every single day.
Yep.
He was sitting right next to you with the glasses on, trying to find that spot. I mean, there is no better source. If you've got a question, like that's one of the reasons you're paying that ticket price. You get to go fishing with the best in the world.
Yeah, I'm keeping them in tune, calling them up to the wheelhouse and, hey, on this stop, I want you to walk around, check rigs, check drags, and just putting them in front of you.
Yeah.
So getting acquainted with them, learning their names,
Totally.
asking questions, telling stories along the way.
That's a good call. Well, those phones are packed up. Everybody's excited to talk to Dave. Maybe get their shot at winning a trip. Let's jump back into the phones, Corey.
Let's do that, Rick. How about Ryan? Appreciate you joining us this morning, Ryan. Ryan from Irvine. Good morning.
Good morning. Let's talk hookup. So for Captain Dave, the way we're seeing how this season is shaping up, what would you prefer to take? Offshore trips that leave in the evening or offshore trips that leave in the morning?
Distance on the area of fish we're fishing, that factors in. It's almost like the night departures, at least like we were talking about on this last trip, like a 2-day night departure where we get in at night. I don't think we have any trips. I mean, maybe a couple that we get in at night. I like getting the full day for sure. I just, from morning to sundown. I favor the morning departure trips. It's, able to get our bait, cruise out, daytime fishing, whatever path we choose, having that chance of seeing something. But, a lot of these trips are based on having that nighttime action. So having the daytime thing and the distance the fish is at right now, having that option or at least chance of catching some that day we leave like we did on our last trip. But I feel like I favor that morning departure.
I wouldn't even pretend to know, but I would assume there's probably something good too about like you have the next 6 hours on your way out to the ground. So like talk to all your colleagues that you work with. You're going to get a very good handle on what is happening real time. Like
hot off the press.
It's giving you a good opportunity to make your decision on where you're going and how far you're going. And, you're reacting to what's happening in the immediate, not what happened the night before or wherever else.
Exactly. Having that whole night in between, like you're going out straight rolling into it. And it was a treat getting that little sample when we got out there on our last trip, just, a little dose.
Yeah, there you go. There's a perfect,
Yep.
perfect example of it. You
Yep.
drove, you had the luxury of driving right to where it was because
Yep.
your code boats are on them, and
That was it.
that's how you get started.
Yep.
Now you're going to wake up in the morning where it was.
Yep.
Like,
that's exactly it.
And there's nothing more exciting, like for Ryan that called in. By the way, thank you, Ryan, for the call. But being excited about, dude, it could be a yellowfin in the stop, could be a Dorado, and
seen something along the way,
and bluefin, and all this different bait fishing happen. How big was your Dorado? Just out of curiosity.
It was like an 18-pounder.
Dude,
that's
are you kidding me?
It was a solid one. It definitely wasn't a little peanut.
Yeah.
Random. Stopped on a normal fishing bluefin stop, and
we got
a Dorado.
no kelp, just open water. Hey, look at that thing jumping around.
I thought it was a bluefin at first, and see that thing all lit up. It's like, ooh, there we go.
That's cool.
Dude, that's a legit fish. I mean, that's a 6 to 8 pound fish in the beginning that by the end of summer has turned into an 18 pounder.
Fastest growth rate. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, normally this is where we talk to our anglers realtor, Yosef Husseini, but we have a little special bonus. It's not the anglers realtor today. It's the man's, the boss, Danny from Fish Dope is on the line this morning. What's up, Danny?
What's happening, Danny?
Hey, good morning, Rick, Corey, Dave.
Good morning.
Good to hear from you, buddy. We're stoked. Always providing Yosef with such great info and do such a great job with Fish Dope. It's rare that we get to have the man behind the screen on the phone. So we're stoked to hear from you, buddy. Give us a rundown. How's things? How are you? And more importantly, how's that fishing?
I'm doing great. Loving living in the Keys. Kind of pissed off at Yosef today because I was going to go wahoo fishing this morning, but I got to do what I got.
Had to bail a brother out.
Yeah, that's right.
I like it.
So anyway, let's start up first yellowtail of the season. Caught up at Santa Cruz Island, but there's no squid up there, no sea bass. I don't know if it's ever going to show up this season. It's not looking good right now. Santa Barbara Island, there's a little bit of yellowtail on the backside. Again, very little squid. The only squid that is in any kind of catchable number seems to be at Catalina. Backside between Cat Harbor and Ben Weston, there's a little bit in there. Hopefully with the full moon coming up, some more will move in. But to be honest, water temps are getting kind of too warm for squid. It might not happen this year. San Clemente Island, there's a few yellowtail living on the front side spots, but they don't want to bite. They're just looking at the boats throwing bait. They're catching lots of bass and bonito, and the yellows are just kind of just eyeballing. But where I really wanted to go here, Dave stole my thunder. Yellowfin, Otto, and bluefin within 60 miles of San Diego is just insane. And the fact that you can just put out a couple of Halcos or a Mad Mac or a couple feathers, cedar plugs, and troll around and get bit. Damn.
In the month of April. Month of April, Danny.
Yeah, in April. Yes, I know. Now, okay, here's something else that's not been talked about yet. Between where the fish are down there, upper 500, 295, double 220, all the way to the 371, the water is clean. The water is warm. There is no roadblocks stopping those things from coming up the line. And I just looked at the current, and that entire zone is uphill current.
Wow.
Yeah, I bet. I don't want to be a predictor here, but
I think you are.
If they're up in the 371 by next weekend, it wouldn't surprise me a bit.
Oh, man. How fun. And yeah, like you say, the expressway is open.
That's right.
I love it.
It is.
Well, I think
pretty much what I got for today.
There's no doubt we're in for some great ones. So great report, Danny. Excellent wrap up. You guys do such a fantastic job with Fish Dope. We talk about it absolutely all the time. And boy, this is the time where it really pays dividends. Early in the season, not all your buddies have been fishing, but if you're a member of Fish Dope, your buddies have been fishing, and you get the full rundown. You get to keep in track with things. You get to keep in touch with the trends, just like Danny's talking about. You can, with the hot bite icons on the temperature charts, you can see where guys are fishing, and you can look at it for 3 or 4 days in a row, see the direction that it's going.
It's great information, all at your fingertips, and you can save $30 off of a new membership to fishdope.com by using the code HOOKUPNOW. HOOKUPNOW, all lowercase, no space, and man, can't say enough good things, Danny. Excellent job filling in for Yosef, and we sure appreciate everything you do for us here on Let's Talk Hookup.
You're welcome.
You're the best, buddy. All right, now go get that wahoo.
Tomorrow.
and send a shoulder fillet back this way. I think we might need a couple of months before they show up around this area. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it very much. Well, the phones are packed up, Corey. Let's jump right back into them.
Let's do that, Rick. How about Tim? Tim calling from Pacific Beach. Good morning. Appreciate you joining us.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call. I really appreciate it. I was sitting here thinking about if it wasn't for the bait companies and those people being or Irving, if it wasn't for you guys, what would be a fleet? I mean, what did they do before, and how long have they been here? It's just, you got me thinking about this. What did they do before the bait was here? You know what I mean? And how long? It just really is the best, isn't it? Like, how could you do that? How can you can't pull it off without?
It is an honest, like, historical thing. Like they've been symbiotic from day one. Yeah, from day one. And you talk to the old timers, and that's just the way it was.
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of those fleets up above that don't have live bait fishery, and it's
tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's smaller boats because you can't handle the amount of people, and it's 100%. Look at some of the albacore fisheries up there. It's 100% jig strikes, and you don't have bait. You certainly can't do it with the same volume of people. And
yeah, there's like San Francisco Meatball Bait Company. I mean, there was, and not always is there availability. It's frozen, and you don't really need it for rockfish and lingcod. And I mean, you could, right? But as far as the sport fishing industry, but when they get the albacore, then they're behind the ball, you know? Yeah. So it's just kind of
their own.
Yeah. And just enjoy it. I mean, that's all I can say, when you have a tough trip with it, like Dave did this past trip, it sucks.
It does.
There's nothing worse. Yeah. But hopefully it's not like that the next trip.
But even still, you have it. You know what I mean? And like we said, you always want a double plus perfect bait every trip. And you have that a whole lot more than you have the opposite. But even when it isn't a double plus, I'll take some C's, man. C's get degrees, man. And then that was sure felt yesterday. I mean, the bait wasn't ideal, and they still made a great catch.
Yeah, I know. We in this room don't take it for granted, but there's
you can't help it.
There's thousands of people. Your passengers, they don't know the intricacies, and I mean, we're talking about it today. I lived it.
Lots of steps to it.
I lived it for 12 years and experienced it. Those guys, man, it's not an easy life. I'm just saying.
At all.
Yeah, well said.
Not that our life is easier, but you know what I'm saying.
I get you.
Yeah.
We had a fun text from Craig, and Craig was curious about trolling and jig striking, and I thought it was a great show for Dave because you have equal time on sport boats, but also you a lot of stint on your own boat. You did a ton of private boat fishing as well, and he wants to talk about trolling. He says, first off, Dave, thanks so much for being on the show. Love the Tomahawk. My question is there any particular color on those Halco 190s? And then the second part, does anybody troll spreader bars? If so, what kind do you like? Is anybody using the kite/flyer? And does things differ from sport boat to private boat? All trolling.
I remember thinking back when, first getting on these sport boats and just troll spread, back when the albacore thing and how there was boats I'd work on that wanted all 4 matching lures, and there's other boats that, outside short, inside long, other ones that wanted outside long, inside short. How we do on the Tomahawk, it's usually outside short, inside long, and at least the outside 2 matching and the 2 inside matching has been kind of this go-to thing. And for color, I feel like, we have this, sardine mackerel color, short bill like that. It's whichever color we choose, I try to have it matching. Might not matter at all. It's just more so of troll spread. I just always have that in my mind. Troll spread. And if it's not matching all 4, then it's a 2-and-2 match. Versus every single trolling lure being different. I just think of uniform and, how those guys do it up north trolling for albacore, and it's like that spread, and, a lot matters to it. But yeah,
Anybody ever fish a spreader bar on a sport boat? Is that really just a private boat technique?
I want to say one trip last year we did. We put one out, got one. It's just tougher from the sport boat.
Yeah.
And it's having that thing way back there as far as you need it. If it's one of those big tuna ones, and the winding it in, I think that was just that's not so favorable. And then they have those smaller spreader bars that guys do for, yellowfin, dorado, pelagic, stuff like that. We don't find ourselves doing them too much, like the splashers and stuff. It's, we don't use them too often.
Okay.
I know on the skiff, there's been a few trips when that big bluefin was around. Those spreader bars saved us, not seeing it a bunch and, doing the whole kite thing and putting the flyers out. That spreader bar saved us and put us on some good bites, and then the flying fish out and, continuing catching that way. But yeah, it seems to be those Halcos are the hot lure, and making sure, you have a couple of those. And I mean, the difference is compared to, way back, handful of years ago, compared for doing the trolling thing, is a lot don't come on. Like back in the day, everyone had their own troll pole, and it's like now we just have the 4 boat troll poles, just ready at any time.
Do you go ahead?
I was just going to say, I'm sorry, Rick, but everything you just talked about, I mean, we've had this bluefin around for 12 years, and it's amazing every way they've bitten within those 12 years.
Totally.
And it's like all so different.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is.
From like so difficult to get them during the day, and it's all nighttime bites to
flat falls to knife jigs to tungsten, trolling, spreader bars,
flyers on the kite.
Yeah.
I mean, just some of the ways we've done it.
Yeah.
Yummy flyer, California flyers, rigged flyers.
And that's all in a 10-year period.
That
like
is.
all this different ways that they got just down a rut on that didn't want to divert from.
Invested. Yeah. Money
Incredible.
spent on
But I'll tell you what, I won't complain with daytime fishing,
totally,
fly
man.
line,
Totally.
sliding on a sonar spot or a jig strike. Are
Yep.
you kidding me?
Yeah.
That to me in my heart is offshore fishing.
Yeah, totally.
It is.
You know,
It is.
You-
Staple.
You've mentioned the Halcos. For those that aren't familiar, give a rundown about like in general. Are you seeing more bites on the swimming style plugs? For lack of better words, everybody knows Rapala.
Yeah.
Rapala style
Yeah.
jigs. Has that been getting more jig strikes? Has it been cedar plugs, old school
It's
feathers?
been
What's
that,
the deal?
and it could be on the note that that's what we have in the water. I wouldn't be surprised if a guy had all feathers and gets jig strikes. It's just we kind of drawn to those lately.
This
And
plug's
it's
been working.
Yeah,
Not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly. I mean, we could put 4 cedar plugs back there, and that just be the game,
Mm-hmm.
game time lure. But we just have been dragging those, and they've been getting bit, and always open to trying different things. Of course, we go half the day without getting a jig strike, we switch, and it's always just willing to adjust. As stubborn as I can be, I'm sure we could all be. It's like just knowing that hey, today might not be the day they want that lure, but willing to adapt to it for sure.
Love it. Let's jump back in those phones, Corey.
let's do that, Rick. How about John? John calling from Huntington Beach. Good morning, John.
What's up, John?
Hey, good morning, guys. So I got a couple questions. Who made the Tomahawk originally? Is it a Ditmar boat? And next question is, has anybody been out to the west looking for albacore this year?
Yeah. So the make of the Tomahawk, it was built in a private yard. I'm not sure the main goal for why the boat was built, but it was built in a private yard. Dart would have the
I was going to say we're going to need to research Dart and get the full lowdown.
The hull was purchased and was designed for the as a cat special, Catalina special, and built in a private setup up the way here up north, and transition boat was brought down here and switched to the whole offshore overnight more so approach.
And it's for the whole reason that probably the bunks are bigger.
Yeah.
The wheelhouse.
Yep. Tall. Exactly. Everything.
Because Dart is a tall dude.
Exactly.
Bob Fletcher is 6'3", 6'4".
Tall.
It might be taller. Yeah, exactly. And then the other part of the question was, has anybody gone? And by the way, thank you for the call, John. Has anybody gone west looking for albacore?
Not that I've heard.
Yeah.
Not that I've heard. But that'd be kind of a cool adventure exploratory trip out west just to see how far a guy would have to go. $1 million question there.
Yeah. And when that stuff floods into the bite of California. It's usually
it's that
within a few days somebody would catch one closer than out to the west.
I know. I feel like every season someone catches just a
lost one.
Oh, one eye. Yeah.
I had a fun text come through. It's a little long, but I thought it was a fun story. It says, I'm really enjoying this show and hoping I could relive a quick story. I was walking down the aisle at the PCS Costa Mesa show early on day one. As I approached the Fisherman's Landing booth, I saw the boss of bosses, Captain Frank Lepresti, was standing up front, so I walked over to say hi, having fished with him many times over the years. Dave was standing nearby in the booth, and Frank leaned into me and quietly and respectfully said, Dave is one of the best young captains we have in our entire fleet, and that I should really fish with him. I used to fish that boat back in the day as the Cat Special, but it's been a few years since I've been. When I spoke to Dave, the young man politely gave me his business card with his cell phone, said to call him anytime. I thought that was so professional, and I'm really looking forward, and I already have a trip booked to fish with him this season. Appreciate everything. That's from Steve.
Awesome.
Oh, cool.
Very kind.
I thought so too.
I was there showing face, man. It was good. It was a lot of good talk, good conversation, a lot of good questions coming in, and I enjoy it. Plan on me being there, all those shows, and
they're fun, right?
I enjoy it.
Bill and the crew have created an environment that, I mean, did you partake in the Fred Hall shows? I loved them and they were great.
When I was on the American Angler, yes.
Right. I mean, and they were awesome. There was nothing bad to say at all. But what Bill is doing with the PCS shows is just, it's different.
It was quite something.
It's badass. It's a really cool environment.
I did my couple laps and it was like, this is a lot of show here. I think I got halfway. I was like, I'm going back to the booth.
Good stuff.
No doubt. I had another fun text come through. It says, I've got a question for Captain Dave. What tips could you give me offshore kelp patty fishing from my private skiff? Last season, when we were pulling up to kelps, it seemed like the ones that had bird on them all had fish, and the ones that didn't were all empty. Can I live by this rule? Do we need to try every one? What can I help do to eliminate the dead and keep myself on the good?
That's a good, I mean,
really good question.
First and foremost, great pair of binoculars, stabilized binoculars. Having Baker Marine right here down the street, that
you're looking right at them.
You cruise there,
Literally.
You get them right there in person, no shipping, worried about if they're going to get damaged if you're ordering them on Amazon. I mean, you go straight to the source. And
family owned.
I mean, supporting that company and the good they've did for all of our fleet and servicing our stuff. It's like,
and more than that, like God forbid when something does happen, you drop on the deck, like try getting hold of some Amazon, eBay seller when you need service. Like that's where you're going to go. And
straight to it.
You're part of the family.
Exactly. Them doing what they do and keeping us, with good pairs of staboscopes is what we use. Fujinon staboscopes. I mean, it's definitely good to have, and it helps. I mean, even taking my staboscopes on the skiff, it's like just the difference. I mean, they're pricey, but in this day and age, you get what you pay for. I mean, there's the Techno Stabos too, which are great as well. I have a pair of those too. But as for being able to decipher which kelp has fish, that's a tough one. Of course, we always want the 10, 15 foot, Hotel California style kelp. But it's a toughie. I mean, there's trips you stop on a 3-footer and it's just the one, and you stop on a 10-footer and it doesn't have anything on it. It's I don't know. What do you got to add to it? It's a tough one. I mean, birds on it.
It's another gray area. If you're in an area where it's loaded with kelps and you're stopping every 15 minutes and you're starting to cost yourself time,
probably not going to be holding.
Then it's just like we talked about with a good bait. There's a lot. You often know when you're rolling up to it and you're licking your chops. You saw it in the gyros and you saw Dorado doing a backflip over the top of it. And there's 4 turns that are actively picking right on the thing, and there's another spot of 15 turns that are 100 yards down swell of it, and there's nothing around, and
it might be a juicy one.
And I think of the same thing if you're driving by and you're finding that you're stopping far too often on dead ones and it's killing all of your time. Either get out of that zone and get your put your blinders on and get to somewhere else. Maybe put the jigs back. Don't spend as much time on one. Just stand up on top of your gunnel or on top of the house and look down. And if you see a huge presence of bait or you see a little ball of yellow squirt off, you can always circle back to it. I mean,
troll past it.
How do you say? Other than that, though, you gotta stop and prospect.
Dude, you laying out all those scenarios.
Buy a sonar.
That was it. As soon as you started saying, I was like, man, I should have reeled that off.
Right?
Yeah, I got all stalled up there.
The easiest thing is just go buy a CH500 like David, and just drive by it and hit it with the sonar and know they're there or they're not.
Exactly.
Why aren't we stopping on this one? Because I looked 500 feet on all sides of it and there was nothing there. We're going to keep rolling.
Hey, how about your jig strikes? Are those coming on me on sonar marks or blind?
Yeah, are you seeing them before it happens?
Blind jig strike.
Really?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, you might see some scattered bird drive through
that.
a little area and just blind jig strike.
Got me fired up.
Yeah,
man.
totally.
Another level of fire.
I mean, that's got to be cool too for you because you are so in tune. You're hearing the sonar click in. You're looking through the pipes. You're doing all the things you're supposed to be doing. And like previous years, like you don't get surprised. You see it on the machine. You hear it on the machine. You see it in front of you. You get to game plan. You get to get ready. You take a couple of deep breaths before you go sliding into one when chaos. Hook up!
Right, exactly. Everybody running.
Level of and that might turn into a 50 fish stop.
Yeah,
you never know.
Exactly.
Pandemonium, man.
Yeah,
exactly. That's cool.
Dave, you can sign me up for that.
Yeah,
tip.
That's it.
Hey, we'll be right back. You're listening to Southern California Sport Fishing Voice. If you're not fired up with that, we'll get you fired up when we return on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live at 97.3 The Fan.
One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast Series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG Series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. Check out the new CalStar models now available, as well as upgrades to the classic rods that you know and love. If you want your tackle to be state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar at fine tackle dealers.
In 1976, Ford F-Series became America's best-selling truck. For nearly half a century, Ford has been passing mile markers and hitting milestones, leaving the competition behind as the best-selling truck brand in California. And your San Diego County Ford dealers plan to keep driving that success forward. Ford F-Series, on the road to 50 years of leadership. Let's go. Check out the entire Ford F-Series lineup and take a test drive today. Go to your local San Diego County Ford dealer.
I believe there is no doubt that the finest sport fishing in the world starts right here in San Diego. This is Captain Frank Lopresti. Our fleet of long-range boats and crew are unmatched, and the Royal Polaris and Shogun are right at the top of the list. Captain Jonathan Yamati and his crew aboard the Royal Polaris are considered to be the finest long-range vessel in the world. From summer bluefin, yellowtail, and wahoo to giant yellowfin tuna, our record is unmatched. The Shogun, under the direction of Captain Rene Monteagudo, has become one of the most popular long-range boats in the fleet. This big, wide, solid riding vessel has gained a reputation for catching fish and treating their customers to an epic vacation on the water. I am so proud of Jonathan, Rene, and the crews on both the Royal Polaris and Shogun, as they have helped me keep the reputation of the premier vessels in the long-range fleet. Come see for yourself. Book a trip on the Royal Polaris or Shogun today. Check RoyalPolarisSportFishing.com or ShogunSportFishing.com or call Monica or Jen in the office at 619-226-8030.
Introducing new Power Pro Max 8 microfilament braided fishing line. It's built for offshore anglers seeking smooth casting and control. Power Pro Max 8 features an 8-carrier Spectra HT construction that cuts through current with ease for precise vertical jigging with a 25% thinner diameter. Available in white and metered 4-color for trolling spread control and precise jigging depths. It's stronger, smoother, and thinner. Power Pro Max 8 is now available at your tackle retailer.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, and having so much fun, man, talking us offshore fishing and daytime jig strikes. If you want to join us, you can do so. One open line at 833-288-0973. The line's been packed this entire time. Want to talk to Dave? Or you can send us a message. There's been a ton of texts coming through the app, and you can do that only through the app. It says right there, text the show. Make sure you do include way to get a hold of you, name and telephone number, because at the end of the show, we're giving away an overnight trip out of Fisherman's Landing. Super cool,
We'll take
right?
that. Well, it's been a very busy morning on the phones. And again, just like Corey said, if you want it, 833-288-0973 is how you get it. Let's jump into those phones, Corey.
Let's do it. How about Jim? Jim calling from National City. Good morning, Jim. Appreciate you joining us.
Hey, good morning, guys. I fished many years with Dave. A couple years ago, I fished on his boat. And, the thing I was really impressed with Dave is how he could put such a good crew together in a short period of time. And Skipper, what I'd like to know is, how has your crew come together? You know, I'm a little bit handicapped, and they were so helpful. I got a little trouble with balance, but they were so helpful getting me from my seat to the bait receiver and getting my bait hooked up. And then once I got on the rail, I was fine. I had something to hold on to. But anyway, how's your crew come together, Dave? And are you really happy with the progression of your crew?
I am. Young crew, you know, kind of how I started. And man, well-mannered, hardworking. And that's exactly it. You know, I always tell them it's like, hey, fishing's one thing, and, you know, fishing's going to be up and it's going to be down, but providing that good customer service. So real happy with my crew this year. And I think you would too, Jim. I'm good to hear your voice.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well said. You have a great, that's one of the, again, we keep saying it. You have such a deep long range background of working on all the boats, and you can feel it. You can feel it on the way that things happen on the boat.
Yeah,
your guys should take care of people the same way.
Absolutely.
Jim, appreciate the phone call. Had another fun text, and we've been talking a lot about it, but I thought this was some great to add to it. And it's, good morning, gentlemen. All this talk about bait has been really interesting and one of my more favorite shows in a while. I have a question about how often to change my bait. I always hear people talk about if you don't get bit right away, you should change it. But what's the secret, and how fast are we talking? Do we let it swim for a while? Do we change it immediately? Thanks for your thoughts. That's from John and Whittier.
Yeah. So where your hook is placed, you know, there's could either nose hook, butt hook, or shoulder hook. So definitely, you know, considering that, like if you're butt hooking bait, you're looking for a reaction bite. So you're not going to be able to soak that bait as long as you like. For the longer soak, say you're not seeing it boil all up everywhere, and, you know, occasional boil, you're going to want to plan on a longer soak. And nose hook, you'll get the longest soak out of it, get bit on the way out and the way in. Shoulder's kind of that in the middle. Lately, I think I've been more butt hooking than anything, because it's just been boiling up, showing like I'm looking to trigger these fish to bite a, you know, hard swimming, you know, angled down butt hook bait.
And you said a key ingredient there was the reaction bite.
That reaction bite
of getting that butt hook, and you're putting the hook like in the anal fin for strength.
Yeah, exactly. A little bone right there helps keep that hook placed.
And you say
that's my go-to.
You say you can't do that on a long soak. Why is that?
Exactly. Just, I mean, you can. I mean, when I think long soak, I'm thinking like soaking way out there, and everyone's, I guess, definition for a long soak is a little different. My long soaks, I just don't have it in me to sit that long. Like I want to, if it's a good swimmer, you know, I'll invest a little more time, but, you know, 3-4 minutes is a long soak to me. Totally. And I want to just like, okay, this isn't the one. And maybe the bait just stops swimming, not swimming as good as I like. I'll wind in, change it. That's just, I find myself being a little more aggressive when there's trips where, hey, maybe that couple more minutes soak with a good bait would have got me that bite. But just, yeah.
I would bet if you added everything up, I bet the average butt hook bait probably gets a bite in a staggering short amount of time. I bet a high percentage of it probably happens in the first 15 seconds.
Pretty quick.
You know, it hits the water, it bursts off, it's running, boom, you're bit. You know what I mean? That's 4 seconds. You know what I mean? Like,
and
after a lot of it is sub 30 seconds.
And after that 30 seconds, they're probably so worn out that it's not efficient at that point anyway, right? I mean,
and if you get a butt hook bait that gets way away from the boat and somebody's trying to long soak it, they'll spin and they helicopter
Twisting
and they
your line
twist your, you know, they just don't do as good. Like, I mean, Dave said it. If you're going to get something way away from the boat, you just got to nose hook it or shoulder hook it or.
So shoulder hooking, where would you put the hook?
It's right behind the head, just a little off, right behind the head. And it's, God, I see guys they hook that bait religiously that way and they get bites.
Is it like, I mean, I'm guessing like halfway between the nose and the dorsal? Like,
pretty much
like in that middle zone.
Exactly. And it's the thing about that hooking your bait that way is it's tougher with circle hooks. It's a little more hard to get that hook in their place. You know, with a J hook, it's more user friendly, but with a circle hook, it's hard to get that hook placed for that shoulder.
So especially with us wanting to downsize hooks and everything so much smaller.
Yeah,
you're talking number 2s and number 4 circle hooks. There's not a lot of space between the point and the shank of that hook to get it in there.
What's the best way with that, do you think, Rick? Like
practice, holding your bait appropriately, holding the nose of the bait forward, trying not to manipulate it too much. Repetition, there's no good way to say it. Like you don't have to go incredibly deep. You're not trying to surface iron cast that thing. Just get it. You got to keep it above the spine. If you go too deep when you're shoulder hooking, you nick that spine, the bait doesn't swim. So.
And I mean, honestly, shoulder hooking or butt hooking, the importance isn't getting it 50 feet from the boat. The importance is just getting it in the water, right?
Yeah, totally.
Like just slide it in underhand.
Yeah, it's definitely a more finesse cast versus the nose hook, where you could, not like a surface iron whip, but definitely can somebody get a farther cast.
I used to always think, casting farther than the guy next to me was way more important. Starting with my bait 40 feet away from the boat instead of 20 feet away from the boat. I have completely changed that. I think a gentle entry on your bait, on a good bait, far exceeds, you firing that thing up in the air and having it slam the water and stunned, and, a good little underhand, get that bait away from the boat and get him in the water, pointed away from you on hauling ass. I think that's a better way to go for me than firing a big cast and having that thing belly flop and slap the water.
Dude, I'm there. I'm already bit.
Yeah.
That's it.
Let's jump into those phones, Corey.
Let's do it. How about Chuck? Chuck calling from Dana Point. Good morning, Chuck.
What's up, Chuck?
Hey, you guys. Great show. Two things. So when you're butt hooking, I love butt hooking them. If it starts bleeding, should I go to another bait, or do you throw that thing in?
If it was boiling all over the place, I would still use it. It's
get it in the water.
Just get it in the water. I mean, it's not the preferred by any means, but if you hear the guy in the tank yelling consistent boil, I mean, and the bait looked good originally, and you got a little bit of blood, I still cast it out. But 30 seconds. If it's running good, give it a little 30 seconds of swimming, just mental note of give it a little bit of time. And if it does die off, stop swimming. Why didn't change it?
What we've talked a lot about live bait fishing, and this has been great. Like I have learned a bunch, and I hope our audience does too. How about maybe one of the most important things is when you are fishing a bait, how do you avoid ending up in a tangle with the guy next to you? What are the, you talked about picking a good bait and hooking a good bait. Like, how about the fishing part of it?
I'm big on, not just the back spool, like textbook back spool, like, okay, there's my bait. Well, I'm on the note of like, bait's running, stops, maybe spool goes a little bit more. I put it in gear. I take a few winds, feel that bait, like direct contact, and then I'm back in the free spool. And I'm nonstop doing that. Like I'm fishing that bait, feeling it.
You're in a tight line connected to it all the time.
I don't want any belly, because you figure you're on a long soak, decent soak. You have not only the current stripping line off your reel, not only the bait, but the current stripping line off your reel. So then you just start to form this big belly. You got a swell on top of that. You got all these factors stripping the line off your reel, when in reality your bait could just be hanging out. So you get all this slack built up. So putting it in gear versus the back spool, you are, for sure eliminating those bellies. So your neighbor winds in, he's not going to pick you up, because if you get picked up by your neighbor and you didn't feel it, then you have way too much slack out of it, because it should feel like a bite until you're like, oh, he got me.
And it's where you're starting that process too, like the way the boat is drifting, and you don't want to walk to the starboard corner and put it in if you're everyone's starting in the port corner.
You're starting that downwind corner and shift up. And I mean, any type of bluefin plunker, I still enjoy hooking a bait and cruising to the bow, pitching that bait off the bow.
Right. And there's a lot of people that don't realize, and I don't know about the Tomahawk, but I assume that you drift stern first.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people don't like connect and understand, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're chumming them up, you're sliding ones and twos in off the stern, but the boat is drifting stern first, and the majority of what's happening is actually going toward the bow.
Bow's a spot, man. I enjoy it.
I hate to give it up for those that enjoy it. I think I just did.
Little nest up there,
How about another fun text? Fun to hear from Dave in the Tomahawk. Hey, to follow up on trolling, would you encourage or discourage customers who want to bring their own trolling rod? I found it very interesting that you liked having matching trolling jigs, so I get that aspect of it also.
Yeah. It's more so just more stuff to lug down. I mean, if you have a troll pole and want to fish it, or maybe got it as a gift and want to use it, absolutely. But we keep fresh line on all our trollers. It's there, it's ready, it has the lures that have been working. It's just gives you time to focus on those other setups, finesse, knife jig setups, fly line setups, gives you more time to mess with those, and just know that when it's your time to troll, you got something that's ready to rock.
How far, if you haven't already, are you from rigging up? And I'm asking this from the nostalgic part and people that can remember. How far are you away from rigging up a boat line?
Oh,
right?
I'd have to acquire some of the gear. It's been a while.
But it's so minimal.
I still have a couple baldies that I have stashed.
Exactly.
Those are textbook.
I really liked, if you didn't see, after I mentioned before that Aftco made a fun social media post. It was just one of the old Clipperton trips on the RP. And that was one of the favorite parts too, is like you look at both corners on the back of that stern and there's a milk crate. Yeah, there's a milk crate, tuna cord, tie it up, ready to roll. Like, that boat line was in and everything.
That was the pinhead.
Crew's got to eat, man.
Like, yeah, right. Here's something that was cool when we had Joel Ralston on, talking albacore fishing, and they put their outriggers. There's boats that have outriggers off the bow, and they get bit on the short leash, like in front of the bow almost.
Right.
Like they get bit so close to the boat. It's incredible.
That's cool.
That, right.
I love that.
I would bring that back, especially just how wide the Tomahawk is. Like it fishes 4 trollers and then enough room to have a boat line. That'd be fun.
That would be fun.
Right.
Let's come back on those phones, Corey. You got me pumped.
I know, right? This show,
so ready.
You could actually right now. You could get me offshore. Seriously, yeah.
I'm there. The boys of the shop. I'm gonna come in fire this morning. I'm
know,
fired up.
Right? Let's talk to Rick. Rick's calling from Vista. Good morning, Rick. Appreciate you joining us.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, thanks, guys. Dave, Rick, and Luca. I can't say enough about your boat, man. Your boat, your guys. Oh man, Chase, Boots down in the deck, Nick in the galley. The food was amazing. Just want to say, Dave, we went to the PCS boat show. My wife and I just specifically looking to get Luca on the boat. Talked to some of the super long range guys, and they all kept pointing at you like that's the boat you want to be on. So we went up, introduced ourselves. I think you were there with your son.
Yeah.
I think maybe Chase was there, but just from the boat show till this morning when I got off that boat, I haven't even made it all the way home yet.
Oh, cool.
But nothing short of a class act. Rick, I don't even think you sleep, man. You were all over that boat. Just a quick thing. I mean, Dave's just always making suggestions. I was on 30 pound. He's like, hey, if anybody wants to strip that 30 and throw some 20 on, I handed my rod up. Dave, you had it up, stripped, 20 on it, hook tied on it for me. I swear it was like 3 minutes.
I love
and
that.
And boom, 5 minutes later, I'm hooked up to my first bluefin on a trip.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Dave, thank you so much for the trip, for the introduction. You guys are amazing. Nothing short of a class act.
Thank you so much.
Wow,
I appreciate it, man.
cool,
Look
Rick.
forward to seeing you guys again, man.
Well said. That's
Yeah.
awesome. What was the size of your fish, Rick?
Oh, it was small, little one, but fought really good. It wasn't so much about the fish being caught. It was about showing Luca a good time.
Yep.
And we did exactly
Rad. Love to hear it, man. What a great phone call, buddy. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, bud.
And they're going to be having sashimi or
Yeah.
poke
Yeah,
like today.
exactly.
Imagine
they're
they're
all
delicious.
They're all the same size in a California roll.
Oh. Yes, please, and thank you.
Cool.
Good stuff. Thank you.
All right. And why don't we jump back into the phones? Corey, sneak a couple in there.
Let's do that. How about Dan? Dan calling from West Covina. Good morning, Dan.
What's up, Dan?
Hey, good morning, Corey, Rick, and Captain Dave. Dave,
morning.
it's nice to talk to you.
Yeah.
I was just referencing back when you guys were talking about the kelp patties when you're checking them out, see if they have fish or not, if they're holding. How far do those side scanning sonars pick that up so that you guys can basically say, okay, this is worth going after, or no, let's just pass on it? Because I've been on some trips where, hey, there's a kelp patty going by. And I said, yeah, they probably already scanned it.
Yeah,
And I just said, oh, okay, that makes sense. Is that kind of how you guys operate?
Yeah, a lot of times whether our range is 400 to 500 feet, that's our little kind of cushion area where we like to fish our sonars. The sonars go out to 1,000 feet. It's just a slow back and forth, but nosing up to them, I feel like daytime we're 400 or 500 feet away with our tilt up high, so we can see it. At least if it's something substantial, we can see it from a ways away. Granted, you pull up to it and see a yellowtail right underneath it, so it's a lot of times pulling up alongside of it. Getting on the PA saying, hey, we're going to troll by it, check it out. If we see something nosing up to it, then we'll stop. If we find ourselves in one of those areas where kelps are in abundance, not in the favorable way, but just like, man, these, maybe the kelps get caught in a rip or something. It's just kelp after kelp, kelps on all sides of us, which is not what you want. You want to be maybe not see a kelp for an hour, and then bam, you find one out of nowhere. I feel like that's it's like, all right, cool. This is, chance of packing some fish. So it's
you
a
might
tro-by thing for us a lot of times. If we don't see anything on the sonar, you'll see me hang my head out the window and the guy on the roof look down to see, because there is sometimes yellowtail like right up underneath them hanging out. Dorado, yellowtail.
I was going to say, you might not see a single fish that's hanging tight to the kelp, but if there's a ball of fish, you're going to see it. And you stop. I mean, I would assume you stopping the boat because there's a single yellowtail on a single kelp probably just doesn't, there's probably better use of your time. That 25 minutes that it takes to get the boat stopped and hook the one fish and catch it and put it back down, that's 25 minutes that you might find the mother load or the big ball of fish or whatever else.
Yeah, true. And in hopes of it biting the jigs too, if it is just a little off the kelp and maybe the machines didn't get it. But this technology we have on our machine, electronics is advanced. I mean, it does what it needs to do for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I had a fun text from Aaron. Says, Dave, there's been so much talk about live bait. Could you describe what your personal favorite rod and reel for live bait fishing tuna on a 3-day on board the Tomahawk would be?
25 pound rig. My go-to is a 278 foot. That was my go-to, just a touch more length. And I have a 277 foot. 7.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably my go-to. I feel like, and it's like the reels I'm back and forth. I have a handful of different Daiwa Shimano, like a Trinidad, like I have all of them, but it's at least for the 278 foot is my go-to.
And I know you talked about it earlier in the show, but what's your line setup? Your Spectra is a backing.
Spectra is a backing for my lighter pound test. I'm not just slapping 65 pound braid on my spool. My 25 pound rig, I got 30-40 pound Spectra max.
It's a really skinny Spectra.
It's less drag on the bait when you do get deep into your Spectra. I know when I first started, it was all 65 back.
You're right about
a big
that.
Spool of it. Like now, I'm finesse.
Yeah, everything
finesse.
in favor of the bait.
Yes,
I love it.
Yes.
Max Quattro would put more line on the reel and a smaller diameter. Hey, we're going to be right back. We're going to find out who's won this overnight trip out of Fisherman's Landing when we return with Dave Ibrahim on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, Facebook Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
Every boater wants reliability and peace of mind on the water, and that's exactly what Towboat US San Diego provides. As part of the largest on-water towing fleet in the nation, Towboat US San Diego is ready to respond when you need them, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. As a member, you get free towing, free fuel delivery, free jump starts, and many more services. Now is a great time to sign up for a Boat US membership, as they are celebrating their 60th anniversary by giving away a 21-foot Grady white boat, plus lots of other prizes. Entry is free. Sign up at BoatUS.com. Let's face it, when you're out on the water, things happen fast. And Towboat US San Diego can help you get home safe. Their fleet of boats and professional captains are standing by ready to lend you a hand when you need it. Membership is inexpensive and is certainly a must-have for any boat owner. Check BoatUS.com for details and sign up for the Grady White Boat Giveaway, which ends June 15th. Towboat US San Diego, your friend on the water.
Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find a location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
Hi, this is Captain Ray Lopez, owner-operator of the American Angler. I've spent more than half my life aboard the American Angler along with my partners Brian and Lori, developing a team that's as good as it gets. I've been fortunate to spend time on the ocean with so many fine people that I look forward to fishing with. We can't thank you enough for being part of the American Angler family, and if you haven't joined us, we love the opportunity to meet you. Text or call Lori at 619-223-5414 or check AmericanAnglerSportfishing.com.
Shimano has taken trolling for big fish to the next level. Introducing the new Shimano Ledge Runner. They set a new standard for offshore diving plugs. Featuring a patented technology, the Shimano Ledge Runner offers seamless depth shifting from shallow to deep ranges while maintaining stable swimming actions, even at high trolling speeds. Designed with durability and longevity in mind, Ledge Runner is available in 2 sizes and an array of colors. One, its amazing features is ADR, or adjustable depth range, a feature that enables anglers to change trolling depths with ease and efficiency. In addition, the Shimano Ledge Runner has HCW, or Hydro Control Wing, a stabilization feature ensuring that the lure swims straight, even at high speeds. Be ready to hear that clicker go off with the Shimano Ledge Runner. Available now at your local Shimano dealer.
This is Rock Cod Rick for Adventure in Camping, where they bring the adventure to you. If you enjoy camping in the Eastern Sierra but don't own an RV or a trailer, or simply don't want the hassle, let Adventure in Camping park it for you. Check out their website, adventureincamping.com. Select from over 75 campgrounds they serve. Decide on a trailer floor plan that fits your needs. Request a quote for your desired vacation dates. Then just show up and start your adventure. Adventure in Camping makes it so simple. They deliver the trailer to your spot and you enjoy a clean, spacious trailer. When it comes time to go home, just close the door and drive away. It doesn't get any easier. If you enjoy camping in the Eastern Sierra but don't want the hassle, Adventure in Camping is for you. Check out adventureincamping.com for details. Make sure you mention that Rock Cod Rick sent you for a special price. adventureincamping.com.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. And if today's show didn't get you fired up, right? Better check your polls.
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead and flip the coin, Dave.
Yeah,
One lucky texter or caller here on the table. Yeah. Oh, the texter. And the texter happens to be Riley in San Marcos. Congratulations on an overnight trip out of Fisherman's Landing.
Awesome. Beautiful. Dave, what a great show. So stoked having you literally walk from the boat into the studio. Information gets no fresher. Such an awesome job. We just love what you do. We love you keeping us in touch. We love when you call the show. If somebody wants to get in on all the fun fishing on the Tomahawk, the season is just underway. How do we come fishing with you? Because I'm in. I'm totally sold.
Contact Fisherman's Landing, 619-221-8500. Book your trip, fishermanslanding.com, tomahawksportfishing.com.
You mentioned earlier, still an opportunity to charter the boat?
Still opportunity to charter the boat.
Okay.
You know, it's slowly gathering dates. It's kind of a good feeling to see people, wanting to come charter, whether it's their friends, family charter group or work charter group. But availability is there. Call Fisherman's Landing.
Awesome. Great job, man. Well, we loved having you. Lots of fun and really appreciate everything, dude. Great job.
Thank you.
Hey, great for you, too. Loved having all the phone calls and fun. Another couple of great shows coming for you next weekend. Next Saturday, Captain Andy from Fish Emeryville is going to be joining us. And the next Sunday, Bruce Smith from East County Bait and Tackle and Friends of San Diego City Lakes. Big thanks to Kyle for keeping us on the fan. We'll look forward to talking to you next week. It's Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California Sport Fishing Voice on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook, and YouTube Live.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
What's up, guys? It's Braden Sobretta. This show thrives on your calls.